Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen, here on Dork Tales. I'm your Dungeon Master, Kelly. I use he and him, and folks, I gotta admit, I'm a little excited, because not only are we back into this, it's been kind of a quiet month on the channel as we've been amping up for Dork Tales Expo, so it's really good to get back to Kryn. I am very, very excited to be getting into this, but I'm even more excited to be playing with these wonderful people. Let's introduce them right now, starting with Christine.
Hello, I'm Christine. I use she, her pronouns, and I play Kelara Vingard, our human cleric of Myshikal.
All right, over to Chris.
Hello, I'm Chris. I use he, him, they pronouns, and I play Godfrey Highvalor, the not quite official Knight of Slamnia, but I got armor now, so that helps.
I mean, you know, so they say fake it till you make it, wear the clothes for the job you want, right?
Exactly, and I have skull armor, it seems. So
yeah, it's badass. Speaking of badass, down to Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm excited to be reprising lovely Rizira, our swashbuckling kinder rogue. And I'm also super duper excited, A, to play games, B, for Dork Expo this weekend, and C, tomorrow is my last day at my job. And I'm super excited.
Congratulations.
Excited. Yeah, congratulations. All right, over.
I'm super excited.
You're super excited, and you deserve it. And we're going to talk about that on the break, I guarantee. Let's pass over to Cal.
Hello, my name is Cal. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Aurontiros, the Qualinesti elf bard. And I am excited to sail the 7 seas.
The 11 seas.
The 11 seas.
The 7-11 seas, really.
I've been
11
lied
seas?
to.
I could use some more food.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go
Yum.
pick up some bad pizza. All right, and finally, last but not least, over in the corner, it's Jen.
Hey, I'm Jen, and I use she, her pronouns. And tonight I am playing Hazeal Nightgranite, our dwarven lunar sorcerer, who also uses she, her pronouns. And I have somehow misplaced my little thing for my hearing aids, which is somewhere. So we'll see where that is. Apparently it's still all working, though, so that's the important
You're
thing.
going to be okay?
I should be fine.
You can hear us, right? They're on and it's connected?
I can hear you guys. It's apparently still beaming whatever light it needs to beam. I just don't know where I put it. I'll find it on break.
Yeah, that's strange. I mean, it's probably just like under the couch cushion or something, but like that's...
No, it's absolutely the ADHD where because I remember I pinned it to here and then I went and thought of something else and then it vanished.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I was thinking, I'm like, what is Jen wearing
Okay, I found it.
Oh, hey, it just blends in. That's beautiful.
Oh, it's the last place where you left it.
Yeah.
It is absolutely the last place where I left it.
We're an
I try
ADHD
to clip
stream,
it to the
folks.
bottom of my shirt so I don't forget where it is.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
The most frustrated I get losing things is when I'm holding it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like when I spent
I
30
did that
seconds looking for
yesterday.
the milk this morning.
I one time was running around trying to find my glasses and freaking out because I couldn't find my glasses while I was wearing them.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Like,
staring at
were
the
they
sink
up on
yesterday
your-
going, where's
on
the
your
dish
head?
No,
wand?
no, I was wearing them.
And it was sitting right there, and I was staring at it going, where's the dish wand?
I got
Where is
so
it?
freaked out that I lost my phone while I was holding my phone.
Yeah,
and talking
same.
on my phone.
Oh,
That's like
Oh.
weekly for me.
Yeah, all of us are dealing with a pressure shift right now up in BC. So I think most of us are on Tylenol or something right now. But earlier today, I had the same thing happen. I went into the kitchen to grab a bottle of ibuprofen and looked in the fridge. Went, why am I looking at the fridge? What am I here? I must be here for the fridge. No. Walked into the room. What am I here for? Oh yes, the pain.
So
So that was me.
I've been listening to a few different people on like TikTok and stuff who are kind of giving their experience as women with ADHD. And apparently that's a really common ADHD trait. So I'm starting to question how much that I might have that too, as a mild like
A little bit.
amount.
Yeah.
Not like
Little bit.
debilitating, but mild.
I will say that Well, not everyone will have ADHD, and some people will just have these traits. You could also just have like low dopamine for other reasons, and that can cause ADHD like symptoms as well.
You need more
Um,
dope. I
but
mean,
yeah, right. But yeah, the whole object permanence thing is a thing.
we'll talk more about ADHD and object permanence on the break, because right now I have to tell you about our sponsor for the episode. We are lucky enough to be sponsored by an amazing Vancouver-based company called Bookwyrm Games. It's a small group that makes their own dice. They do everything from regular dice to resin dice to gemstone, wood, and edible dice. Some of the best dice that I've ever rolled, and some of the prettiest, including liquid core dice with the big swirly bits in the middle. They also have a bunch of fantastic things on their site, including D10 sets that they've made specifically by our request for World of Darkness games that are hunter and mage, or not hunter, they're mage and vampire and otherwise themed. You definitely want to check them out at bookwyrmgames.com. That's a worm like a dragon, not like a dirt bird food thing. So Bookwyrm Games, you want to go check them out and use code DorkTales on checkout. And I was talking to Michael, the guy that runs Bookwyrm Games, and he was like, hey, I really like the channel points thing. What's the deal with that over on Dork Tales? And I'm like, well, if you're watching on Twitch, you get channel points that accrue while you watch. It's just an in-app currency, not attached to money at all. More of a reward system for viewership, right? And he's like, oh, that's too bad. I'd really like if we could do something with that. I'm like, yeah, unfortunately, I can't just give that to people. But what I can do is if you buy anything from Bookwyrm Games, the night you buy from Bookwyrm Games, you let me know, and I will give you twice the redemptions. So if you buy channel points to get Hurt the Moors, you get 2 Hurt the Moors. You buy 5, you get 10. You buy experience points for mage, I'll double that too. You buy polls, I'll put up multiple polls. I don't think that's a great option though, maybe don't do the polls. But we'll drink a lot of water on hydrates if you buy. I wouldn't spend it on hydrates if I were you, but hey, and that is going to be going through the remainder of this month. So consider it, and consider going to bookwyrmgames.com right now. You also want to check out their quest chest. I did it in my head the wrong way. Questchest.info to learn more about their system agnostic adventures in a box. They're honestly some of the best ones I've ever seen, and they come with all sorts of stuff, including consumables and coins. And I'm a coin goblin. I really need to get one of those. So hey, Bookwyrm Games, if you want to send a couple of those my way, who knows, I might run them for stream. That would be really swell. Or we might do a Dork Tales themed one called a Chest Quest. But anyway, Bookwyrm Games, thank you so much for your sponsorship. You guys are amazing, and I hope to have you around for a while. And then the last thing that I want to say is, folks, we are a mere 44 hours or so away from the start of Dork Tales Expo 2023, which is a 3-day long extravaganza where there are more than 20, I believe it's 22 different events and panels, everything that you could imagine to help you improve your role-playing space. Check it out. It's our #1 fundraiser for the channel. It's our only fundraiser that we do for ourselves. All of our others are charity events. So please come. We're going to try to raise as much money as possible to help us afford new art, tech, costumes, and just basically to keep the channel running because it is an expensive endeavor. We're also going to have some Patreon goals if you'd like to sign up that way. A couple of things that'll happen is for every $500 that we raise, I will make another ASMR video because that's funny. At 180 patrons, if we reach that, I will run something of your choice collectively, and thereby 180 my choice to not run as much stuff. But anyway, look forward to seeing you this weekend. We'll talk more about that on the break. Yeah, Chris.
Just want to clarify the Bookwyrm Games deal for the buy one get one. Is that just for that night or that day, or is it?
It's for that day. That day. Okay, so hopefully that answers the question for the chat. Oh, was there a question in the chat? Yeah, I can't give it to you for the remainder of the month.
Confused.
Yeah. So it's
on whether
only
if you
for
bought
that
in
day.
the month, if it was for the whole month, you get the bonus, or just for the day.
No, that's way too much to keep track of. For me. So, you know, I assume you're not going to buy multiple times well, you might buy multiple times per month. It's much easier for me not to have to worry about additional things like that every night.
I mean, as much as I want to be like, buy dice, it's amazing.
Mm.
Buy dice, get that bonus, and then put that extra money you seem to have towards Dork Tales Expo.
Yes, or the
Because that'd be
Patreon.
great.
Because, folks,
Or
the
the
last thing I
Patreon.
want to say is I know we're losing, I think, 3 patrons at the end of the month, but right now we are only 2 patrons away from Star Trek Adventures running once a month, ran by the lovely Bunny Hearted. We're so close, we've actually put the cast together and are looking at outfits right now. So if you want to make that happen and actually give those outfits something to use, there's something to use those outfits for, head to patreon.com, and that's tier, any level tier will add to that total. We're just going for numbers at this point. So, you know, $1 a month, you can push us toward that. Anyway, that is all I have to say for that. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns as we are preparing to go in to game tonight? So looking at the chat, I can see that I've had, what, 2 Hurt Them Mores purchased for me? Something Good Happens and a Drama Bomb. Is that correct?
Yep. That is
Okay.
correct.
I also have 1 Drama Bomb and 2 Hurt Them Mores remaining from last game that didn't get used. So I am putting those into effect. If I don't use them, they go to Krista for Strixhaven. All right.
She could use them, right?
She can
I think
Always.
I think you know, a fair split. Because if they're in Strixhaven, they can be used on Kelly, which is rare.
Kyle doesn't need him.
Sometimes
He's
Kelly
on.
gives them to me for Technocracy.
Yeah,
too, and
Technocracy
they
too.
Also
That's
get
true.
used on
Yeah.
Kelly.
Kyle can take it. I don't know if Nolan can.
And then eventually Kelly can pass it on to me, where I can also use them on Kelly when I start running Radiant Citadel.
Yep.
But that one's
because-
going to be live, right?
No, it's Patreon.
It's Patreon.
Oh, okay.
However, the Radiant Citadel Session 0 is going to be live this weekend on Sunday. We're doing a how to run a Session 0, which is going to include an actual Session 0. So tune in for that. And folks, that is going to be it from us. I think it's time to start game. Let's head into Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen, here on Dork Tales. You returned from the crypt. You met with the powers that be and prepared for the voyage north. You learned a decent amount through research about the Northern Wastes. And were able to convince Marshal Vendry, along with Darrett, to send a contingent of troops to the north. After resting and preparing, you did just that. You all gathered at the docks, preparing to board up. It was night, and under the cloud of darkness, you intended to sail to the place known as Wrecker's Edge, in order to bypass any spies from the Red Dragon Army seeing you. All around you, you can hear the crashing of waves, the loading of troops, and as each of you head onto the ship, we're going to take a moment and pull the camera back as the Kender looks at this large ship in front of them, just bobbing up and down in the harbor as Hazeal approaches. So as you're preparing to board, everyone is heading on the ship and seeing Rizira nearby. You wanted to have a word with her.
Right. I remembered what I wanted to do. That's what I had forgotten. Okay.
It's okay. I almost forgot too.
It's
I have
been
a
a
note.
week.
It is. Robin reminded me, so I have a little note with an asterisk
appreciate
pre-scene.
that. Thank you. Right. Okay. Yeah, so I will see Riz, and I'm gonna look for a moment to get her alone for a moment.
Sure. So everybody is kind of like on.
Without necessarily outright asking for it, because I think she'll just ask too many questions right off the bat.
So, Riz, have you ever been on a boat before? Like a real big boat?
I think this might be the first time for her. She's
So
doing,
I'm
like,
gonna-
communions.
So I'm going to say that on the edge, you can see that Riz is just kind of like looking around at like all of the bustling activity, the dozens and dozens of troops that are loading up these ships in the late night. It is probably about 9 or 10 p.m. at this point, and the troops are trying to quietly, but you can only load cargo so quietly. Moving things onto the ships. It is a bustling place. And Riz, you were kind of in the middle of it, just kind of like, you're not going to get the Mary Tyler Moore reference that I'm thinking in my head probably, but just like people passing by. You're in like almost in the middle of like a New York street and all of this. And just kind of like your head's kind of spinning from this. Hazeal, you're going to notice that people kind of dodge around Rizira like they would trying not to step on a cat's tail. But for you, they just move around you naturally, like rocks breaking a wave.
That's good. Yeah, I think actually I haven't been on a boat either, I don't think. Now that I think about it. Though I'm less inclined to just wonder at everything like Riz is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I might try to sort of maneuver Riz like out of the stream of people so that, you know, we're less in the way.
Sure.
Just kind of like, oh, have you seen this over here? And like
What?
going to go look at something interesting.
What? Oh, what? What are you... Oh, this is like a... This is an alleyway. Interesting.
Yeah.
What are we here for?
So I talked to Wyhan.
Oh.
And she said she would take the axe that I no longer have as payment for whatever you took.
She holds out a wand.
Now it is
To be fair, she was
fine.
being really, really mean, and she didn't deserve it anymore. She was being too rude, and you know, I'll give it back once she's, or you can have it, I guess. I didn't want you to get in trouble. I acted impulsively.
So, as you're looking at this wand that's held out in front of you, it is a length of lacquered black wood that is insidiously sharp at the tip and tapers down to a knotted handle that coils around, like almost like the spokes of, I know a lot of fireplace pokers have that kind of like spiraling pattern with the hollow center, except the center of this wand is a simple core of bloodstone. And if you're looking at it, you can do me a favor. You can make me an Arcana roll to see if you can recognize what this is.
Cool. Yeah, let's do that. I was going to say, I think I need Identify to really tell what it is, but I do not have that.
True.
That's a natural 20.
Okay. You know this
Bookwyrm
specifically.
dice.
So it was gonna be a high difficulty, but a natural 20 with Arcana. Looking at that, you can see that that is a wand of the War Mage. You're not sure how powerful it is, but it is a wand that improves a spellcaster's attack spells.
I think Hazel's gonna kind of reach out her hand, not to like grab it from Riz, but just to kind of touch it.
Oh.
And so I didn't care what you took. You're right. She's particularly mean and rude, and maybe I shouldn't say that about her, but there's a reason why I don't necessarily want to be a black robe. There's usually something dark and bitter about them.
Yeah,
So I was
you don't
gonna
seem like,
yeah.
you know, dark and bitter. You seem like, I mean, you can be a little bit abrasive sometimes, but you're like a stone, like more like you got a little bit of that rough edges, but you know, you just gotta like maybe brush it off a little bit. You know, you can polish it down.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I don't want to generalize and stereotype because I'm sure there's different kinds of people in all of the robes, but the white robes seem to be really goody two shoe, and the black robes seem to be, you know, a lot meaner. Red robes is about all about balance, so that's why I like this. But I was going to let you keep what you took, but I didn't know what it was, and I do think that I would get better use out of this than you would.
Oh, you gave up your fancy cursed X, of course.
Thank
And
you.
I did. I mean, I wasn't supposed to take this, but you know, you can give it back to her when you're done with it.
We'll see, but thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was just a like something that wasn't specific for spellcasters like this seems to be, then I would just let you have it, because I think it's a little funnier that you actually managed to take something from her. But
Yeah, I
must have
got to
worked
the
for
door,
that.
and the stupid alarm that she had set up, she had some sort of like talking mouth that shot a thief, and then I just ran. And then I hid in the stables all night. So my back's kind of sore, but I figured she would come and find me where I slept, because she knows where I sleep. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, please, if you're going to get better use of this, and she said you could have it. I'm sure you'll do better things than this.
Hazeal will take it. What level is this?
So it is a
Kelly?
+1.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd be like, here, have this +3 item.
I know. No. So Wand of the War Mage, basically all of your spell attack rolls while you're using that wand go up by 1.
Cool. Excellent.
It's basically a masterwork to you. Or you have a +1. You're a +1 wizard now.
Cool.
Alternatively,
it also says in addition, you ignore half cover when making a spell attack.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah. I always forget that part. The alternative was it was going to be a wand of webs, but I didn't want to give a wand of webs to Riz. That just would have. We don't need Spider Riz.
Spider Riz.
Don't
Spider
we?
Riz. I think we do, but that is your opinion.
Hazeal will tuck it into her sleeve and be like, and work on attuning to it.
All right. With that, what's everybody else doing as you load up? Aurontiros, have you ever been on a boat like this?
Just the ferry, kind of connecting south.
We talking about like the ferry, or like the ferry? Like we talking like a giant ferry that elves ride on? What are we talking about?
Yeah, connecting Qualinesti to Solamnia. There's a giant ferry that.
What's their name? Galadriel.
Yeah, I was thinking like. I was trying to make a BC Fairies joke. I couldn't think of any.
The Queen of Solamnia. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so this is quite a large boat here, and you can see that there are many humans and a couple of dwarves and even an elf moving around the deck. There is another elf that's not just you. Well, a half elf, to be true. She casts a look over at your direction. And Wamet. No, I'm talking to the other elf behind you. Hello.
Oh, hello to you too.
You're the one that everyone's talking about, right? About the council. She takes a couple steps closer. She's wearing the uniform of one of Calaman's soldiers, and you can see that her ears are a bit shorter than yours, and she has a strong brow line with dark blonde hair, and blonde hair kind of spilling out from beneath the skull cap she's wearing.
Coming along on this wistful adventure, then. But yes, I suppose I am the one everyone's talking about. What are they talking about?
Oh, that you might have killed the council.
Oh, wait, who's saying this?
Loudmouths. Braggadocios. Bards, mostly.
Ugh, bards.
They're the worst, aren't they? Nice loot.
Truly.
Harp? What is that?
Good eye.
Do you know which boat you're serving on?
There's more than one boat?
There's 3. There's the Diligent, the Bastion, and the Wasp.
Well, I
I'm on the
don't
Wasp.
care for wasps much, but I could make an exception.
Well, I look forward to it. Marseries.
Mulceres?
Marseries.
Mulceres. Aurontiros.
That is quite a name, too. Well,
Yes, us elves have quite a name.
I've got half a name. But if you're ever interested in speaking in Elven, I'm a little rusty, but I wouldn't mind.
Oh, so you did learn some.
I've picked a bit of it up. Over the years.
Excellent.
Pleasure to meet you. I look forward to hearing some of the music later.
All
I
right.
have to get loading, though. And she'll grab what she was loading onto the boat and takes a step up. Aurontiros. Meanwhile, Kelara and Godfrey, what are the 2 of you doing?
I don't think Godfrey's actually been on like a big ship before. So he's looking a little nervous. He's trying to help people and like other people like bring everything on and whatnot. But yeah, probably just like a little like anxiety pacing a little bit, like back and forth. Like he's looking for stuff to do, but worried he's getting in people's way.
All right, so as you're kind of like doing that whole backing up into people, trying to, Kelara, you're going to see this at a distance as you're kind of approaching the boats as well. Do you do anything? You can also see that nearby, Darrett is directing soldiers up into the boats.
I think she's also looking relatively wide-eyed because she's never been on one before. She's maybe seen them kind of at a far distance, but I don't think they came all the way up to where their town was. They stopped here.
No, small boats would have, but
Exactly. So maybe we saw them in a very far distance or went out fishing. So never really seen them before. Besides, like, probably Ispin gave descriptions, or maybe even had a picture or 2.
See, Kelara.
She's kind of looking relatively wide-eyed at it.
See,
It's
Kelara.
a lot bigger than she actually pictured it to be.
The thing about boats, Ispin used to say, they can take you anywhere you'd like to go, but the seas are treacherous. There are creatures in them that'll swallow you whole, drag you to the depths. Which is why you need a good boat with a good name. I was always particularly partial to boats with strong, powerful, and somewhat lurid names like the Matilda or the On Prior. Or perhaps
How is
the
Matilda strong or lurid?
I once knew a woman named Matilda. She was the cook when I was growing up. The woman never bowed to pressure. She could lift an entire house with just a single finger.
Was she a giant?
They said so. Her mother was beautiful. They didn't know who the father was, but if anyone could coax the the love of a giant, it would have been Matilda's mother, Broomhilda.
Wait, her
Anyway.
mother. Kalara's kind of trying to put together what he's saying and going. Looking a little worried at it.
Ah, that said, the most important thing is finding a boat with a strong, lucky name. Kelara, you'll hear as you're kind of staring out, remembering that. Darrett has wandered up. We're just about set up. Have you seen Godfrey? He's supposed to be here.
He was right there. Should look over and see if he's still there.
Godfrey, can you do me a favor and make me a dexterity check? With disadvantage, because it's new
Excellent.
armor.
Perfect. With disadvantage, that will be 3.
3? Okay, so you're just kind of, you have found yourself like in the middle of a stack of boxes on one side, on 2 sides, on 3 sides, and on 4 sides. You are inside of a cube of boxes, just like walled in as they're loading these crates up.
I did just see.
It's probably the stealthiest he's ever been in his life. He's I'm gonna just pick a side and just try and start pushing to get out. And, like, hello, I
Risen
seem to be stuck.
Hazel, as you're at the end of the pier having your discussion, you start like kind of just like wandering a little bit as you're talking, and suddenly, Riz, you're gonna feel your rapier start like being bumped from behind by a box. One of the crates on the dock appears to be alive, and it's bumping into your butt.
Hey! Give the box a
happening?
shove back.
Hello?
Godfrey, did you
Hello?
turn into a box?
No, sorry, Riz.
Oh.
I'm gonna push the box. I kind of got. I don't know what I.
Riz is
did
going to
here.
climb on top of the boxes and just look over at Godfrey.
All right.
Does he need help?
Yeah, he's gotten himself into quite a little pickle here. He looks like the boxes are all around him.
All right.
Doesn't have
Godfrey,
quite much
if
room.
you push the box and I pull the box, we could probably get you out of there.
All right.
On 3.
Okay. So meanwhile, back over at Kelara and Darrett, Kelara, as you're like, he's just right over there. You're going to see a Kender climb aboard some crates. Oh.
Yeah, right over where Riz is.
Huh. Well, I guess while I have you for a second, as best I can tell, since, I mean, Godfrey isn't anywhere visible, and you seem to be making a lot of the calls. So, we've got 3 boats. You're welcome, the lot of you, to board any of them that you'd like. But there's the Wasp, the Bastion, and the Diligent. They're all, I think, pretty similar. I gotta be honest, though. Like, I'm like you, I'm from Vogler. I don't really know big boats. I assume
Well,
they're about the same.
it's been always said that you should pick one with like the most like, strong name.
Yeah, the one with the most character,
Bravest
right?
name.
So,
I don't
well,
know, maybe the Diligent.
then the Diligent it is. It's the one with the dark red hull over there.
Oh, okay.
Have a safe voyage, and
Is that a risk?
I mean, we could always probably sink, but I think we'll be fine.
Are there sea monsters like Ispen used to say?
Yeah, there are, but like, they shouldn't give us
more and more worried about this.
Well, I mean, there's always monsters everywhere, but you know, these are hardy vessels, and we've got ballistas and lots of troops. We should be fine.
Okay.
Aurontiros is going to appear behind Darrett as they're talking. Sea monsters?
Ugh.
Huh.
Yeah, no, I mean, Kelara was asking if there were sea monsters. All right, on my count, heave. You'll hear over on the edge of the.
To talk about them a lot. On sea voyages.
Well, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm going to be on the bastion until we reach the other side. But
That's another good strong name.
yeah,
Finn would approve.
thank you. I guess I should keep filling this out, but Board will be leaving soon.
I'll make sure the others know.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Aurontiros, very stealthy, my friend.
I wasn't
Very
trying
stealthy
to
friend.
be.
I know, that's why it's
All right.
impressive, even when you're not
Well-
trying.
Godfrey's telling me I need to just not do that. Just not
I
should
mean,
announce my
practicing's
presence more.
probably good, but I mean, among friends, it's also nice to let them know and not give them a heart attack. Well,
My
enemies, who cares?
heart's still pretty good, but who knows? We'll be setting sail soon. That's a hard one to say. Setting sail soon. All right. So,
That's a type
arrivederci.
of elven tree. Set his sail soon.
There's a lot of sibilance among your people, isn't there?
There is. It's kind of like the opposite of how dwarf sounds.
I bet they'd be really good at tongue twisters then.
What are tongue twisters?
When you say something really fast that is supposed to be difficult to say, like multiple words in a row,
Yeah.
and you're supposed to see how
Get it.
fast you can say it, but the fun is
Amidst
that
the stoutest boast, he slams his fists against the post and still insists he sees a ghost.
Oh, like Kender slam poetry.
Yeah, kind of. Speaking of Kenders, it looks like the Kender is being carried away in a crate. Nearby, Riz, a couple of people just come and grab a crate and like, all right, we get this loaded up, and they don't notice you're on top of it because it's the middle of the night. Yeah.
Hello. I'm on here.
Boss, are we loading Kender? Well, is it on the manifest? It's on the crate. Well, you're loading it then. Guess you're coming with us, kid. Sir, ma'am, raise the lantern. Ma'am? Okay.
Excuse, you're talking to the Queen of Kinder. Excuse yourselves. You should be bowing.
Listen, my queen, they say as they're kind of like shuffling you off. If we bow, we'll have to drop you, but consider this like a royal, palanquin?
Oh, that works great. And Riz just gonna like sit down on the box and just enjoy
I was
the
gonna try and
ride.
yell down the dock of, oh, put her on the diligent.
Are we headed to the Diligent? Yeah, we're headed to the Diligent. Yep. Sure thing!
Thank you.
And with that, they'll carry you up onto the ship on a crate.
Riz
full of-
is just like waving.
So you're on a crate of crossbow bolts, basically, and they're just like...
Riz is just waving here. Just
Thanks for getting rid of that crate, Riz.
Oh, you're welcome. It's no
Nice,
problem.
Godfrey.
I'll try and
All right.
push myself out the rest of the way.
Kalara's gonna link her arm through Aurontiros and kind of pull him closer to her side and tug him down the dock.
Can
Hazel will
I...
help Godfrey get out of his little situation.
Go
Okay.
see what's
What?
happening.
Am I in trouble? What's happening? Where are we going?
We're going to go
So-
see what's happening with Godfrey.
Godfrey, can you do me a favor and make me a charisma save, please? As you see Kelara walk up arm in arm with another man.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry. I accidentally rolled both. All right.
Another man or like, just an elf.
That'll be a 5.
A 5? So, even in the dark, like, there's going to be a bit of a look on Godfrey's face. As, like, you're like, oh, what? what? And you see it's Aurontiros, and that it gets better pretty quick, but it's still like...
You gotta make sure I keep that in check, he'll say to himself.
So we're all on the diligent.
What was that, Godfrey?
Oh, just...
Derek
Gotta-
was
Me
saying
with
we're on
my
the diligent.
passive
He was
perception
looking
of
for you.
11. What's happening?
Sorry, both of you were talking. I didn't hear either of
Sorry.
you.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just saying that. Just Hazel being like, what were you saying, Godfrey? Because you were saying stuff to yourself.
Oh,
But
just
I have
trying to...
11 passive perception, so.
Oh, okay.
And
And
Kelara was just saying that. Oh, so we're on the. Derek said we're on the diligent.
Oh, good name.
We were trying to find you, but you disappeared when he came over to talk to me.
Oh,
But here you are.
yeah, I don't... I was trying to be helpful, and I think I just, I don't know what happened, to be honest.
So we'll be on the diligent. It's good because that's a good strong name, like Ispen said you should have for a ship.
Godfrey, you're doing the thing where your like face betrays your emotions. You're having trouble with something.
What?
Godfrey, why do you look like you stepped in some shite?
Sorry, guys.
Kelara's just gonna look over at the others and just go, "What are you guys talking about?"
Oh, sorry. I'm just a little embarrassed right now. That's it's not often somebody manages to get 4 crates and block themselves off somehow, with a very, very poor deception check.
I was
Embarrassed?
just distracted by the sea voyage.
16, yay.
What is embarrassed?
Oh, I am. Yeah, but
You don't get embarrassed, Aurontiros.
he's just making sure.
I don't think I have.
Lucky you.
What is that? What is that feeling? It's like I know it's embarrassed is like when something happens that you don't want to and you feel bad about it, but yeah, I guess that's never happened.
How is that? Wow.
Lucky.
Yeah, that's I mean, is that just you or is that all elves?
Probably depends on the elf.
That's I'm envious.
The trick, Godfrey, is no matter what you end up doing, everything is for a purpose. Or at least if you act like it, then it seems like you're always where you need to be. And everything that happened to you was of your own will.
But in a way, isn't that being deceptive to yourself?
Well, do you remember that saying that Ispen would say that, like, whenever he'd try to get up on his horse and he'd fail the first time and that sort of thing? It's you fake it till you make it.
That's yeah, he that's
And
very-
he made it.
he did.
My family
Me
had a
too.
different saying. It was more like, get it right the first time, you knob. But, you know. Teach
That
their own.
sounds like my family. Where are you from?
They're Barton.
Oh, underground, right.
Yes.
I can't imagine living underground and being raised there. That's it must have been. What was it like seeing the sun for the first time in the sky?
Well, I mean, the first time I saw the moon, I got magic. So that was interesting. But yeah, the sun was weird. More importantly, the sky went on forever, and that was disconcerting. Really disconcerting. But
I suppose that would be.
Hmm?
I suppose that would be.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, I spent my entire life underground, and I mean, that's the reason I went looking for, or went to the surface in the first place, was I didn't want to, you know, get married and start my life without seeing the sky for at some point.
Are you sure you're really not part Kinder? Riz will say as she snuck back out because she was waiting.
So that's how that feels.
Yeah. What? Are you sure you're not part Kinder about a little bit of Wonderlust? You might have a little bit of Kinder in your
I mean,
family.
I wasn't planning on leaving, but then there was magic, and home wouldn't really like that. So
That's weird.
so I'm here.
Well,
Wait, do all dwarves not have magic?
Some do. They aren't well liked by the others, and they aren't part of the tower, and are basically renegades, and teach themselves magic. And
Those
I
guys
didn't-
sound cool.
All aboard!
Oh, I think we better go before they leave us behind.
One of them
Oh,
is
is that what
called
that
the
means?
Wasp.
Yeah, we're not doing that one. We're on the Diligent.
No, but the one that's called the Wasp, nobody messes with wasps.
But that kind of sounds like more of a nasty name than like a heroic name, right?
That's true.
So I
Which
feel
is
like
why
that's
they
the
won't
one Ithan would
expect it.
think would be like not lucky. Besides,
What are they all
there's already
called?
over on the Diligent over there.
There's the Bastion, the Diligent, and the Wasp.
There, it's going to be on the Bastion.
I suppose we should all stick together. Or should we split up?
No, we should stick together. And she's going to loop and like tug again and tug off towards the Diligent.
Oh, how tall is Kelara? Because I'm wondering if he's being
5'4" and like
if she's
100
being
pounds.
picked up. 5. They're very close in height. I think Kelara is far stronger than Aurontiros, so he's just gonna. Oh, what? Why are your
What's your
arms
strength score?
in? It's like 9 or 8.
Oh, okay, yeah, I am stronger than you.
All right. So,
Aurontiros, you're lucky. I'll say as you leave, arm in arm with Kelara.
Uppies. Rizira's gonna say Godfrey.
I'll pick up Rizira.
all
Aren't you
right.
on the ship already? How did you
No,
get
she
back
snuck
here?
back. I snuck back because you guys are taking so long. I got bored.
Okay, let's go on
They
the
just wanted to
ship.
talk.
As you make your way over to the gangplank of the Diligent, you're going to see an armored figure sitting just up against the side of the boat. I was wondering when you'd get here, a sarcastic voice says as a little coal ember ignites Levna's face from a smoking pipe.
Hi, Levna.
We going or not?
Well, they just said all aboard, so yeah.
Good. Shall we?
Good to
guys
see
are
you,
all-
sir. Cheery as always.
Always. You guys are arm in arm. Feel left out, Hazeal?
Not particularly.
Oh.
I'm more arm on shoulder or
Fair.
Kinder on shoulder.
I was going to offer you an arm up, but maybe later. Let's go.
Hazel just like
Kelara will pull Aurontiros forward and be like, well, I have 2 arms, Levna. I can help escort you.
Maybe next time.
Aurontiros is going to mouth.
Jealous there,
She's
Godfrey.
really strong.
And she'll look over at you. Solamnic women are. Wink. And she'll say wink while she winks. Wink. She's really bad at winking. You've learned Levna's secret. She's really bad at winking.
Love,
Gonna-
I think you're supposed to say wink when you wink. You're just supposed to wink.
Yeah, but I've got a scar over my eye. It makes it easier. It's a prosthetic verbalization. Wink.
Kelara starts to look very, very confused.
So, like, stab? Like,
In
I mean-
Elven, Aurontiros is going to say to Hazeal, did Levna just threaten me?
Probably, but if she winked with the scarring, she would be blinking because she only has the one. Like,
Yeah.
that's
My
why-
eyebrow is severed. The muscles in my forehead were severed by this scar. So I have trouble winking, okay? Try not to raise too much attention to it. I'm sensitive about it. Or something.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're sensitive, we can make sure that everybody looks after it and doesn't...
Kelara, if you ever want to
doesn't bring
find
it
out
up.
how sensitive I am, talk to me. And that's how you get it started, idiot. She'll nudge past Godfrey and step on board the ship.
What are we talking about?
All aboard!
Just get on the boat.
Shit. Get on the
All right.
Kenders usually like to, like, how we ask each other how it's going on a first date is we generally leave them, like, little scavenger hunt notes to come and find them. And then the prize is usually food, because, you know, we don't generally... And then they end up stealing your silverware, and then you have to steal it back. And then that is kind of how the ritual works.
Scavenger hunts?
Yeah,
What?
treasure hunt. It's like a treasure hunt.
What? Sorry,
And-
what are we talking about?
And as
Hazeal,
that
why
happens,
don't you help?
you step onto the boat, and as you do, you continue your conversation. The boats will set sail at that point. Water sloshes and wood creaks as the ships depart. Calaman's docks in the dead of night. Citizens gather to bid farewell to loved ones soon fade from view. The ship cuts through the dark waters of Calaman Bay, sailing to perilous shores under cloudy skies. You're going to have a few hours in order to probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours, I think is about what it would take to sail that distance. It's only a few miles, but the seas are particularly calm tonight, which is probably better for those of you who have never been on a boat before. That will change as the night draws forward. As you're nearing the northern wastes, you can feel the push and pull of the tide beginning to pitch the boat a bit. The closer you get, the rougher the waters become. How do you spend your hour and a half? Just chit-chatting, mingling?
Tell me more about the scavenger hunt. Like, what kind of clues and, like,
Okay,
Godfrey's, like, totally invested in
Riz is
Rizira
going to
right
go
now.
through, like, the traditional Kender, like, dating and how, like, you have to, like...
So
So
our
you start off-
Godfrey and Riz sat off to one side, talking like one-on-one, quietly, leaning all in with each other.
A
off
little
to the
bit,
side. All right.
How do you...
So generally, if you fancy someone, you lead somewhere, like, the first location has to be, like, somewhere usually sort of with, like, where you two know each other from. So, like, if you met first time you really started talking, was at, like, a bakery, that would be where the scavenger hunt leaded, was the bakery. And then afterwards, you go to somewhere new and exciting. And then after that, you go to somewhere that is beautiful. And then after that, you finally get to go where you've set up the arrangement of your meal, and then you just eat and talk and eat and talk, and then you just depart, and then afterwards you ask for a second date.
That seems really complicated.
Oh, it's very complicated. But we like adventure. It's fun. It's a little puzzle to figure out. And at the end of the day, you usually get free silverware.
I feel so confused. Everyone's telling me different things.
What do you want to do, Godfrey? Do you want to ask Kelara out?
Well, I
Do
mean,
you want to court her?
she's a great person. She's the kindest person I've ever met. I just feel like she's really kind to everyone, and it's like, how do I put it?
She's friendly to everyone, but she's more friendly to you, Godfrey. And I think she's trying to make you a little jealous back there. I think she wants you to buck up and be a knight, sir.
But what if I
If you
ruin
want.
our friendship?
Well, that's what you have to do. Like, love is not safe. It's never safe. You have to take a risk. Plus, you know,
I don't know. I feel
a
like I'm
good
reading
advi-
into it too much, you know?
you're not. We all
I mean,
see
I've
the
made it-
chemistry
it-
before you.
I don't know. I need to think about this.
Go be she gave you her favor. You guys were so flirty at the festival. And then you helped her. You two both saved Vogler. Well, not saved Vogler, but you helped rescue people. But she likes you, Godfrey. Even when you were gone, she was missing you. You could see it. She had a little bit of a sadness, and she was so excited to hear when you were coming back.
Okay.
You got to
Okay.
not be afraid. Kinder aren't afraid. You got to have a little bit. Take the little bit of spirit for Kinder.
I'm
You got
gonna
to go talk to her.
I'm gonna stand up and look for Kelara.
Kelara,
And-
where would Kelara be right now on a midnight voyage?
Well, I guess we've all kind of are up and about still. And we were already up that late, so until everybody else said anything about it, she probably would have stayed up just for the novelty of being on a ship this big. So I think she's probably along the railings somewhere, just kind of seeing if she can see anything out there. But it's probably really, really dark. So unless
Spending a
there's
drama
moonlight-
bomb.
Ooh.
So as you're on the side of the ship looking over at the dark water, nothing but the moons ahead, streaks of red and silver in the water illuminating the waters north of Calaman. You'll hear the sound of a little bit of wood shift next to you as a body is going to lean up against the railing.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Says a broad-jawed soldier in a Calaman's guard uniform.
Very much. I've never been on a ship this large. I mean, I suppose I've never really been on a ship, just those little ones that we escaped Vogler on.
You're one of the ones from... Of course, you're the priestess of Mishikal. I've heard a lot about you. You're, Kelara, was it not?
Yeah, that's right.
What an exciting
right.
life you must lead. I'm sorry, it's very rude of me. I'm Lars.
Nice to meet you, Lars.
I wanted to thank you for your service to the city.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
I just think it's really admirable. I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk over you. I'm just...
Of course not.
She's kind of holding her staff, and she's just gonna like kind of rest it and hold with her hands like in front of her a little.
So, this is your first time on a big boat, huh? I grew up on merchant
never
trade
been.
vessels, so it's pretty normal for me. Yeah, but
What's
You
it
know,
like,
not-
going on merchant, I guess, missions?
more or less. Well, you get to meet the weirdest, most unique people. I met a Minotaur pirate once.
A minotaur.
A
I
minotaur
read about them in the
pirate.
books.
Just like Kaz, right? From the old Knight's Tales. It's amazing stuff. Sea elves. And even stranger things. I swear once I saw a mermaid.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Although it might have been a sea elf with a, I don't know, a sleeping bag on or something. Do you like coffee? Or,
Yes.
you know, I happen to have a little bit that I like to keep on me. My brother's still one of the merchants, and I have him pick it up when he's sailing. If you'd like, once we're camped, I'd love to brew some and chat some more.
That sounds lovely.
She's just kind of, she's a little non-committal with it,
He looks kind of
but
like,
she's friendly.
he looks like a 1 degree removed Hemsworth.
Okay.
So he's definitely like a Liam Hemsworth. You know? Dark hair, strong jawline. You know, kind of sexy vibe. Not too tall. He's Godfrey's got a couple inches on him.
Okay. I feel like with her charisma, she's probably been hit on a lot growing up.
Oh yeah.
Because she's 18, so I'm sure she started getting hit on when she was about 14 or 15.
It's a little gross, but yes, probably.
Most likely. So I think she's a little experienced with it, so she's going to give him enough rope to hang himself if he's not actually interested in her by just
Fair.
kind of letting him natter on or talk over her.
So Godfrey, you are going to turn and see like Kelara talking with this like handsome soldier who's just kind of they're just making idle chit chat.
Okay.
So, I'll go tie his legs together so then he can't go after her.
No. I got this. I got
Make me a
this.
Okay.
Riz, what's your stealth?
Yeah. My passive stealth
Your passive
is
stealth.
20. My passive stealth is 20.
Okay. All right. If you choose to, Godfrey won't notice.
Riz will
Laura
keep a
might.
definite
All right. So Godfrey,
Eye on
you
him.
want to go do something about this?
Yeah, I'm gonna go up and just kind of like, excuse me.
Godfrey.
Hi. Sorry to interrupt. I just I'll try and look back and see where Riz is and
you don't
not
see
see
Riz.
her. And just be like,
You don't see.
She's gone.
I would like to take you on a Kender scavenger hunt.
I think Kalara's face goes a little blank as she just kind of tries to compute what the hell Godfrey just said.
I go, I mean, that sounds fun. Did Riz tell you about it? You should tell me more.
And she'll loop an arm through his and
Oh, yeah, no, Riz was trying to hi. Riz was trying to give me suggestions on things that we could do together if you'd like, and
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah.
it's
it was
when-
lovely to meet you. She'll turn to the other fellow, and she doesn't remember his name.
Uh,
And she's gonna start moving around and just go walk with Godfrey and kind of start guiding him along. But
All
she'll
right.
just kind of like, "Oh, it was lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for stopping
Lovely to
and
meet you
talking
too.
to me."
Of course. It was very, it was fun. And as you walk away, Lars will kind of like watch you guys go. Well, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Ding, ding, ding on his shoulder from behind. She's sitting on the railing.
Oh, hi. How are you doing?
Good. Just let you know.
He's
Admiral
taken.
attempt.
She's taken?
We've been trying to set this up for a while now. They're kind of a will they won't they. He's awkward as all of Vogler combined.
I've heard stories.
Yeah. So, I finally got the guts to take him up. Actually, I think you helped spur him on a little bit, so thank you for your service.
You know
If
what?
you're looking for anyone coffee, I wouldn't mind a cup.
You know what? If you're in the encampment anytime, my name's Lars. Nice to meet you.
Rizira.
Look me up. I'd be happy to share a cup of coffee with you. And what's this about a Kender scavenger hunt?
It's how we ask for a first date.
Is that what this is?
Us or them?
I'm just joking. But no, I'd be happy to have coffee with you. I'm sure you have some amazing stories to hear. Plus, I can tell you about my time with the Minotaur. Nobody ever wants to hear that story.
Oh, I've been with Minotaur. Me and It's been trying to sneak in as a Minotaur once into a Minotaur camp. It was a good disguise. We ended up fighting off like 20 Minotaurs and running. Oh,
That's a lot of Minotaurs.
it's a lot of Minotaurs. Ispin was like half dressed. I was the other half dressed. Don't ask which half was half.
Actually, that does raise a lot of questions. I would assume...
I said don't ask the questions. I said don't ask. The more
Okay.
questions you ask, the more the story falls apart.
There. That sounds like an interesting time. We'll pan away. I think we'll... unless Kelara and Godfrey, do you want to have that talk? Or shall we cut ahead?
Good with leaving it where it is, and we can work it in later too, in little bits and pieces.
Sounds
good.
fantastic.
I need to take some time and figure out what I'm going to do for a scavenger hunt on a boat.
Well, before long, you'll find yourselves pushing further north. Kalin Bay doesn't take terribly long, an hour and a half to cross, and soon you can hear the sound of waves crashing against jagged rocks along the shore. Beyond, red-hued canyons carve their way through a harsh landscape you'll just be beginning to see in the dawn sun. So I guess we'll set out a little later than midnight. We'll say we're probably at 2 or 3, just to be sure. The red-hued canyons carve their way through a harsh landscape. In the distance, mountainous crags and strange formations jut skyward. One of the boats comes into view next to you, pulls alongside, and a plank is lowered between. There's a little bit of a clang, clang, clang noise as Darrett wanders his way across onto your boat. Hello, friends. We're here.
Sir Derek?
Hello.
I was hoping that the Vogler strike force could do a bit of reconnaissance. Or whatever you decided to call yourselves. What would you like to call yourselves?
Decision?
Think about it.
Oh, I didn't. Are we actually an adventuring party? They're
I've
the only
always-
ones that name themselves.
I think we are. Can we have a moment?
You can have as many moments as you need. What I'd really like,
Ooh.
take your time, but also take a rowboat. And what I'd really like is if you could go and scout a place for the troops to disembark.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that'll be a good time. We can discuss a name, I guess. What do you all think about maybe something naming after Ispin? It's kind of the thing that helped bind us together
Oh. Yeah.
in a way.
I mean, it's better than any idea I have, so.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of I
What's
I
something
don't
to do
know.
with his shield?
Like
I
the
love
Green
this.
Shield Company.
Or
We-
the
Or something
Shields-
about the unicorn?
The what?
Wasn't there something about a unicorn?
Yeah, there
He had
was something
story,
about a
didn't he?
unicorn.
Yeah, he may have saved me from, I don't know, it looked like they were going to eat me at that point if they couldn't get the ransom from a bunch of bandits and lots of dramatics, and long story short, it was a donkey with a carrot on its head.
I think unicorn sounds more heroic.
He also
Well,
apparently
they
was
thought it
given
was a
the shield
unicorn.
by a unicorn, according to him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah, Carrot Donkey just doesn't have the same ring to it.
All right, carrot donkeys. How about we get into this rowboat? Levna
All right, we're
says.
getting.
I love that.
I'll get into the boat and offer my hand to Kelara to help her in.
She will take it and jump down into the boat.
About
Perfect.
time.
You know what? He's in a great mood, so yeah, absolutely. He'll help Aurontiros in too.
Hazel will absolutely get in on this. Just like,
Riz will
And-
jump into the boat.
No
It starts
uppies?
swinging. It's still on ropes that are like holding it to the side of the boat, so it's gonna go. Make me a deck save, Riz.
I will. I would love to.
Riz,
If you fall,
remember-
it's my
remember,
favorite.
We don't fly. I don't
You know what?
fly.
I'm gonna spend to hurt them more. Roll with disadvantage because you've never been on a boat.
You didn't have to, but I'll see if I can get 2 nat ones. No, that's a.
Which I will point out at this point, Kelara switched into pants.
Okay, I'm gonna take
She's
that.
wearing
I'm gonna take that
trousers.
hurt them more back then because if you got an out, you know what? I'm gonna take it back. Why not? Okay, so Riz
that one
Riz is
before,
going to jump onto the boat and is going to go like do a bow and is going to slip off, and you're gonna hear into the water below, about 30 feet down.
Is she
Liz, are
fishing
you
again?
okay?
Hazel has just like made the motion as if she was going to cast something and then stopped. Because I have Featherfall and I just
Would you
chose not
like to
use
have
it.
cast Featherfall, or are you gonna let her just
No,
fall
I
into the water?
chose not to use it.
Okay, good.
If the boat was going to fall, I might cast Featherfall on the boat.
Okay.
Aurontiros
Well, no, it'll
uses
land on a kender. That'll be a soft
prestidigitation-
landing now.
Prestidigitation to hold up a 7.5
Little like
above his head.
Oh, only 7.5.
Are you
salty.
alright?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bit salty.
The shocked look on your face kind of ruined the aesthetic.
Oh, I should have smiled to the judges
Yes.
instead. Next time I'll smile. Anyways, it's a bit cold and a little bit wet. Find myself just a bit damp. Would you mind lowering the boat a little faster?
All right. So using a winch with a crank this time.
That's how winches work.
That's how winches work. The boat is going to be lowered into the water. You can pull Riz in, and the 6 of you can head inland. It takes probably about 10 minutes of rowing to get to the shore. And you'll have to scout around
Question,
for
who's
a.
rowing?
Levna is rowing, and Godfrey is rowing, and that's more than enough to
Excellent.
get you there. So you can make pretty good progress, actually, and you'll make your way to the shore. And from here, you just need to look for a place to land. Now, I need to know before we go any further. Does anybody have? No one's a ranger, but does anybody have proficiency in water vehicles? I believe that no one does.
No.
Nope. Too dwarf for that.
I have land vehicles.
I have proficiency in 3 musical instruments of my choice.
Nice. That's good. That's
Did you
very-
choose water vehicles as one of them?
That's a really interesting instrument.
Did you get anybody? Nobody got them from their backgrounds, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Sadly,
Alright.
That's
Let
where I
me
got
look.
land vehicles from.
Very few do get water vehicles, but usually it's languages. I'm pretty sure you got extra languages, Aurontiros. All right. So, heading inland and looking and rowing around, looking for shore, it takes you about an hour of just kind of like cruising along the shoreline until you find a narrow cove. Looking at it as well, you can see that there is a small ship anchored near a clear beach inside of this cove. What do you do?
maybe we should go investigate the ship, see if who it belongs to.
Yeah, let's see if they're
Can
not
we
ahead
see
of
anybody
us.
on it or anything flying from the mast?
You do not see anything flying from the mast, but anybody who wants to can make me an intelligence history check. However, Aurontiros, no need. You will recognize the make of a Sylvanesti ship.
That's the make of my cousins of the Qualinesti. That's
Qualinesti?
Sylvanesti make. More expensive and prettier, but
Oh, so
not as practical.
Is
that's
it
family of yours? That's amazing.
That's right.
Is it family or just like Sylvanesti?
Sylvanesti. I use cousin with
In the way that the wealthy
Disdain.
people do.
Yes.
Oh.
Right.
Do you
Well.
think they're friendly?
Yeah. And how big is their boat?
Quite large.
Is it
large
about the same size as like?
Mm-hmm. Quite large indeed.
Yeah. So that would be a good spot then to. So that would be a good spot to, or around there to unload the troops. Then maybe.
It would.
Perhaps we should take a look around before we
Yeah.
head
Okay.
back. Odd that their ship would be this far north.
Yeah, I really want to take a look at that.
Okay. So the boat is like, it's a bit smaller than your troop transports. It looks like it probably has about room for, it's more of, what's the step up from yacht? A sloop? It has about a dozen crew members worth of space on it. Do you row your boat over?
Does it look like it's like stranded or old, or is it in good repair?
It looks in very good repair, actually. Small but seaworthy, and seems to be just anchored.
I think.
Should I?
Aurontiros, you recommend staying away from them, but I don't know. Maybe
Well, That's like staying away from your like in-laws.
we should at least then announce our presence, should we not?
Instead of just creeping up on them. You're
Yeah.
probably right. In Elven, going to yell out
Oh. What?
and hail them, unless somebody like doesn't want us to.
Well, why don't we moor our rowboat a little bit further down and then walk up so that like we're within sight and it's a little bit easier to
Don't seem
get
like
away.
we're trying to sneak up on them. Okay.
Yeah. And then I guess you can discuss with them.
Yeah, find out if they mean any harm or if they're even there.
Yes.
Okay. So, you'll easily be able to row yourself along shore and pop out. You approach the ship?
Yeah.
Riz would like to stealth around the side of the group.
Okay. Absolutely. Go ahead and make me a stealth check.
Okay.
Thanks for the cookie, Kelara. Have you tried these? They're great.
Oh, that looks so good. 28.
28. Not a problem at all. As you land aboard the shore, you can start making your way over toward the ship, stealthily, silently, moving almost atop the grains of sand rather than through them. Where's everyone else doing? And let's switch over to our maps for this one.
I'll be trying to walk close to the front, I think Godfrey's under the impression that likely Aurontiros will be talking, but I'll try and be beside him.
Gonna be playing the lute. Something that marauders would not be doing.
Probably
Right.
not, except for the loot marauders.
Oh, that's a good group name.
Good party name.
The Loot Marauders. Gather round, people, and lend me your ears, pointy or round. I'll tell you the tale that will fill you with fears of a night so dark. Without an evil bone, his name was Sir Godfrey. May he never fight alone. It's a work in progress. I'm just making this up as I go.
Hazel's gonna watch our backs, just to make sure. So she'll be.
Okay, sounds
towards
good.
the back.
Sounds good. All right. So everybody else, as you start to head over, Levna will also stay back and kind of like keep mid-flank with the boat. You play your lute, and as you approach, there doesn't appear to be anything going on. The closer you get, there's no motion on the ship. Perhaps they've left it. Anybody who is headed around the front, it's a bit dim out, so the sun's rays are coming up over the horizon, so you'll have enough light that there's not any disadvantage or anything. But anyone who takes a look at this can make me an investigation roll as they're approaching the front of the ship.
What about the side of the ship?
You
I guess
definitely
I'm
can.
kind of sweet.
You're close. You're close.
That'll
you
be a
get?
10.
A 10?
Oh boy, I rolled a 3+ investigation 7, so that's a 10 as well.
10? So both of you are like,
Me.
you're thinking that unless somebody's hiding, it doesn't appear to be occupied. What did you get, Hazel?
18.
18. So looking at it, you are going to pass by and see that the anchor is buried under quite a significant amount of sand. It looks like it's been moored here for days, maybe even a week or two. This isn't a recent landing.
Is Levna the one that's kind of close-ish to me?
Levna is right behind you. She's basically making sure that like either Godfrey or she are right next to Kelara at all times. So wherever Kelara is, she's basically like magnetically linked there just in case.
Fair. So yeah, I think I'll lean over to Levna and just be like, I don't know much about ships, but I do know that sometimes with the water, it will push the sand and rocks and stuff up when it's been there for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think the ship
How-
has moved much.
How did the
lately.
sails look?
The sails look well kept. They're actually tied up.
Okay.
What's this beach like? Is it like
Pretty
really
sandy,
rocky,
actually.
pretty
It's
sandy?
so it's
the
immediately
footing?
sandy, like right around. Like this is actually the only sandy bit of the northern waste you've seen so far. For as soon as you get back about 30 feet from shore, it starts becoming incredibly rocky and precipiced. The nature of the northern wastes appears to be like the gods took some of the worst ideas for coastlines and mingled them together. Nothing but like piles and piles of bone sharp, of tooth sharp rocks jutting out. And this stretch of beach is one of the only safe havens that you found in an hour of searching.
I wonder why they pulled up here. Why they dropped anchor here.
I think she's gonna stagger just a little in the soft sand, like that sort of walk where like the sand slips up from under you, so you're kind of walking sideways almost.
Mm-hmm.
Can I cast Detect Magic
Yes, you may.
just to see if anything hinky's going on?
Okay. Casting that, looking at the side of the ship, you can see that there is a slight aura of abjuration clinging to the ship.
I'm going to look back and see if there's any, if Aurontiros has been leaving tracks in the sand, and ask him, it's like,
Very light.
is it true that a lot of elves don't leave footprints when they walk?
Only when we choose to.
Maybe we can see if there's any tracks.
Well, the tides and the would wash them away, but maybe a little bit deeper in. What you had mentioned something when we were looking things up. Maybe it was Rizira, that occasionally the tides will flood the canyons. I don't know how long the ship's been here, but that might have removed any trace of them, but it doesn't harm us to look, does it?
Quick
There it goes.
question.
Quick answer. What's up?
What sorts of things does abjuration cover?
Protection magics. Detect magic is abjuration, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So abjuration,
Wards.
yeah, wards, definitely. Really simple one, alarm.
Okay, yeah.
So it could be that someone just went whoop whoop to their boat and walked off.
Resisting energy or damage, like anything like that, like protection
Okay.
stuff. And
Binding circles for
such.
demons, the usual.
You know, the usual stuff. Okay, cool.
Tramp stamps.
That's kind of what I thought, but I didn't want to like waste time looking it up. So, so Hazel's going to kind of motion at Godfrey and just say, there is some sort of probably protection magic on the ship.
is it anything we need to be wary of?
I mean, it could be anything from a simple they'll know we're here immediately once we, approach the ship, to maybe something goes off because it's protecting the ship if we try to approach it. I could dispel it maybe, but maybe I don't know.
If they're possible allies, or at least not enemies, I don't think we should mess around with their ship too much. If there's
If it
room on the
was-
beach for the rest of our
Yeah.
our boats, then we'll take note of it, but maybe leave that up to Derek, or search the area, make sure there's no other people around.
Yeah.
But
if it
I
was-
think if nobody's responding, we should probably leave their magic boat alone.
Yeah, if it was some other kind of magic that made me a little more concerned, we could do something else about it. But I think they've brought it here, left it for a while. I don't know what they're doing, but
Is anyone else's hair like getting really big and frizzy out here?
yeah.
What's up with that?
I don't think so.
Is it the ocean? Is it the air? What is it?
Meanwhile, so is no one setting on the boat? Not interested. Not a problem. To the north, Rizira, you're just kind of like waiting in the sand, keeping an eye on it. Okay, and you're just waiting to see if your friends hop on the boat, right?
Yeah, basically Riz was gonna like act like, hopefully, like if people came out to see them, if they start acting hostile, Riz could like basically try and like sneak on board and like get them in the back kind of thing. So she was kind of
So-
being like,
Just kind of like keeping yourself primed and ready just in case.
yeah, keeping primed and ready, and she's like just kind of looking at them and looking at the boat and looking at them and looking at the boat.
So as you're
Waiting.
doing that, your Kender ears, you have passive perception of 20, right?
Yes.
You are going to hear the sound of crunching sand and the scraping of boots on the side of rock behind you. And Do you turn around or you just listen?
Oh boy. So, is it dawn yet?
It is definitely, I'd say it's probably about 15 minutes into dawn at this point.
Okay. Just wondering for like, you know, an item that recharges at dawn, if I would waste that for the day, kind of thing.
If you want to. These steps are coming up right behind you.
Yeah, I think. Yep, Riz is going to bonus action Misty Step right behind where she hears the noise.
Okay, sounds good. I want you to do me a favor and make me a perception roll to aim correctly.
Okay. Ooh, perception 25.
25. All right, so listening very carefully to the sound of shurk. You will vanish in a swirl of mist and appear where you can see just on the little bits of sand that are kind of between these jutting rocks. Footprints pressing into the sand. And they pause when you vanish.
I would like to try and tackle.
Okay. You can make me an athletics check to tackle with disadvantage.
Okay. With the shroud, on the next attack roll, could I use advantage to cancel out the disadvantage?
You can, yes.
It's cool. So I'll just roll that flat.
Okay, and
Which I need because I have a plus frickin' 0 to athletics.
okay.
Oof. Because Riz is not strong. She is wily.
Okay.
It's a 10, which, you know, not terrible. I would like to add my determination, if I have it, to
You
make
do?
that a 13.
A 13, all right. Riz, you'll break your stealth by doing this, and behind you, over on the coast, the rest of your friends are kind of like, should we go on the boat? Should we do this? What's the deal with the elves? You're talking like that. You're gonna hear like and wah, as Riz launches herself forward, and Riz, you almost are upon them. You will crash down to the ground. Kind of rolling and catching on your feet as you pass through where you think the figure was. And as you rise up, suddenly there will be a shimmer as the spell is broken, and an elf is standing before you, dressed in like a royal purple, royal blue indigo cape that drapes over a pair of dark clothes. Pale flesh with a bit of a tan to it, and long dark hair dangles around incredibly elegant ears. As he vanishes, a ball of light will illuminate in his hand, casting his features into view as he casts light in the center next to you. Please. There's no reason for any of that. I was just curious who was headed toward my vessel.
No worries, but sorry, it's just a instinct here. Footprints behind you. It's kind of tuned for that.
Of course, I didn't want to head up to the ship without a little bit of protection. Meanwhile, back over by the ship, you are going to see the sudden flare up of a ball of light inside of a Sylvanesti elf's hand. About 50 feet to the north of you, you'll see that Riz is on the ground. This elf will roll the ball of light into his other hand and reach down a naked hand to offer you up.
Riz will take it.
What do the rest of you do? Do you rush over?
Can
Kelara
I
will
cast
shriek
message?
Okay, message? Yeah, what would you like to do?
To Riz, just be like, "You good?"
Yeah, I think so. It's a ship.
I will rush
And
over,
then-
but not draw a weapon.
Well, and then
Lovely will as
I'll
well.
look back to the others and just be like, hey, yep, everything seems okay.
Okay.
Far from home, cousin.
Ah, he switches to Elven. And well met, cousin. A pleasure to see one of my Qualinesti brethren this far from home as well. The mage takes a step forward, looks at you. Well met. It's good that you didn't step aboard the boat. We have a pair of air elementals guarding it from anyone without our blood.
There's no reason to approach it.
So that's what I sensed.
Well, I mean, I was worried that somebody may be sick on it, but since there seem to be no signs of life.
Yeah, we were just looking for a place to bring our boats as well. Just want to make sure you guys were okay, or if it was abandoned.
How thoughtful. Yes. We are okay, I suppose. What are my manners? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dalamar Argent. I believe we can probably help each other. And he'll smile at you. And I think that's where we're going to take a quick break, folks. So don't go anywhere, and then we'll spend some time with Dalamar. Hello, everyone. This is the part of the program where we talk to you, the chat. Hello, chat. Welcome. I'm going to plunge my coffee because I made coffee during the break because I need coffee. Guys, I feel so bad because last night
French press? French press master race.
No. Oh, that phrase at the same point. But yes, French press superiority for sure.
Yeah.
In Kryn, it's the dwarf press.
The dwarf press.
Do you have any plans to run any of the keys from the Golden Vault heist? Not off the top of my head. The problem. Okay, let's break this down. So the problem with Golden Keys to the Golden Vault is that it came out right in the middle of the big WotC thing, where we were wondering whether or not we were going to keep doing like Wizards of the Coast 5e at all. Since then, we've decided we'll keep going with some of the bigger modules, but so I didn't buy the book, and I flipped through it a bit at like game stores, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of good. I'm not sure. So the answer is maybe. Maybe we could do something like that. It'll honestly depend on timing, on money for graphic design, and like it's and money for the books and for the Roll20 layouts, because if it's a vault, there better be maps for that in the book. That's one of the things that has been difficult with Dragonlance, actually, is that they finally put their money where their mouth is on map development, and have actually put a bunch of maps that we use in here, but they've cut back on their art, so our thumbnails aren't as polished, which is like a little and then so I'm curious. I guess the long story short, because I'm rambling, the answer is maybe I could, but I would how many adventures are in that book? Does anybody remember? Is it literally just
11.
Candlekeep? 11?
I think
That's
it's 11.
a lot.
Yeah,
So
Radiant Citadel's 12. How much? Where does this go?
Hey, Cal, if we hit 250
it
patrons,
goes-
will you?
To level 14, but it's 13.
Yeah.
Because you go level 1 and then you skip to 3, and then it's
Yeah.
1 level per.
Yeah.
I
I
look
may
just
have
saying
looked at
that.
it, but-
Ooh, that's really
well,
hot coffee.
Oh, also, Kelly, I know
Yeah.
you said this in our Radiant Citadel chat, but potentially what we could look at for my
Hmm.
DM logo is what they're called. It's the like crystal spirits. What represent them? Because they have a couple like they're all like jewelly. There might be
Maybe if we
interesting
could
to
find
use.
one that's hey, it's Caspers and Castles. Good to see you guys. We're on our quick break while we're chatting with the chat, so we're going to be heading back into the action in about 7 minutes. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, thank you for the raid. So folks, while I've got you all here, so the answer is maybe. The Golden Vault could be good. But I've got a bunch of other projects right now, and I probably wouldn't be able to run it personally, but if someone else on the team wanted to, I would probably play in it. I have the best idea, because like it's been publicly announced that like I'm joining a VTuber D&D game.
That's
And
exciting.
I've got a concept for a character. Oh, thanks for the follows. I've got a concept for a character. I was doing it on my drive to pick up the new hardware. I think I want to play a Disney prince.
Are we talking
Ooh.
Like Prince
which
Charming? Like we're talking like who the type who goes like basically Aurontiros, but like in bigger pants. But
I was gonna be like a cross between Godfrey and Aurontiros.
basically, because like my VTuber model looks like
We
Markiplier,
would be unstoppable.
so it's
Like
Hello
like a
there.
beefy.
hello
Yeah, 'cause
there. Come to me, animals of the woods. Allow me to
I love
pet
that.
you. Right? I'm thinking that might be kind of fun. But yeah, VTuber D&D game is going to be good. I'm not going to be Alf. Could be Alf. But anyway, I was saying earlier, I felt really bad because we canceled game last night because I haven't been sleeping recently. And I was like, I'm going to run game. And I picked Christine up at work, and on the drive home, I couldn't speak. Like, I was just like, and then I sounded like Sylvester Stallone on the way home. And I'm like, unless you want a game, run by Sylvester Stallone, then we shouldn't do. So everyone's like, that's okay, Kelly, go sleep. You know what I did instead? I ended up working
Plotting
on
out
stuff.
things and working on your.
I
all
worked
your
on Dork Tales
projects and
Expo
your-
until 3:30 in the morning. It's done.
Uh-huh.
It's all of our overlays are done. All of our graphic design for it's done. Except for like one little like tweak I got to do, which is like a 5-minute job. But like it's all done. And I slept literally all day.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, and then you sent me a bunch of website stuff, and
I did. I
one
still have to
point.
send you a couple more things. But no, Jen. So we've got a couple of fantastic little events that are coming. Dork Tales Expo is on Friday, where from 4:30 Pacific until, I mean, we go to sleep at night, but like basically during working hours and beyond, all weekend long, we've got a ton of events. Should I tell people what these events are? Should we? Because like I can't fit it on a screen.
Yeah,
I was
go
gonna say,
for
posted
it.
the schedule, but so
I've posted the schedule, but for those of you who are watching this on YouTube on Friday, head to twitch.tv/dorktales. Come sit in our chat. We're going to do our best to leave our stream running like full day so that we just keep accruing people. I want to make a big hype train because we've got a ton of different panels and events. So just to give you a sense of things, we have, if I can find the schedule, boop. So starting at Friday, I'm not going to give you times because you can check them out, but we have, so you want to be a DM with tips, tricks, and more. We've got a panel on world building and home brewing together at last, like peanut butter and chocolate. We've got exploring gender and identity in tabletop role-playing games, role for pronoun use. We've got making the best big bad evil guy that you can make. Then on Saturday, we have Wake Up and Makeup, where you get to hang out with some of our best fashionistas as they do their makeup. Then we have a panel on using music in your tabletop role-playing games, which I really think adds to the ambience. In fact, one sec. Do I have epic music to play in the background? No, it's a little, there we go. Nah, well, I'll do it without. Plan your music is going to be step one. Then we have a special guest appearance from The Spark of Justice, which is a actual musical tabletop role-playing game by some of our friends. And Robin, you're a big fan of them.
Yes, off the beaten path.
Off the beaten path.
Musical. Yup.
They are a fantastic
met
group.
them-
We met
Yeah,
them at
Fan
Fan Expo. So it's going to be an
Yeah,
actual
that was
musical game, a live game there. Then we've got playing with history, how to use history in your games, feminism at the table, games you should be playing that aren't D&D, folks, like lesser known games that are really, really good, writing for tabletop role-playing games featuring me and a bunch of tabletop role-playing game writers, why we love the World of Darkness and Chronicles of Darkness, if you're into it, and then how to win at D&D on Saturday, so where we tell you tips, tricks, and ways that you can make your D&D game better by just being a cool person and living your life nice. Then we start off Sunday morning with crafting minis and terrain with Deathray, with Steve Deathray running that one. Then we have costuming and character, getting to look the part. Then after that, we have love, sex, and consent in tabletop role-playing games, followed by bringing NPCs to life, followed by a live How to Run a Session Zero featuring the cast of the upcoming Radiant Citadel game that Robin's running. So we're going to do our Session Zero live on the air. You can ask us questions while we're doing it, and you get to meet all of our characters and get hype for it. And if you want to join in on that, Patreon gets that game 3 months before everybody else. So you can sign up for that for as little as $5 a month. It's a great deal. Then we've got module prep and how to know which one is right for you and how to do it, which is going to be a fantastic one for anybody who wants to run a pre-made adventure. Then we have a Dork Tales AMA, so you can literally ask us anything and we'll do our best to answer it. And then as always, we wrap up with the Dork Tales Expo wrap-up chat, where we fit as many team members into one screen as possible and try not to talk over each other, but then talk over each other, because that's what we do for that one. So yeah, you definitely, Bong, I didn't know you had a girlfriend. You should, bring your girlfriend. And then bad D&D idea, hello DM and adventurers, a cursed weapon idea. The brazen bow, it is a nice frame in the head of a bow and shoots flaming bone bolts. The more you use it, the more you feel your bones burn to ash. Okay. Counterpoint, what if it's like a bone, but then you're like, the more you shoot it, the more you don't have as many bones inside of you, because it uses your bones as ammunition.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
You can't need all of them.
You don't need it. You got 200. That means you have 200 and what? 208?
Apparently it varies between people. Like
Does
some
it?
people's bones fuse together and it's
Cal.
like
People.
Hey, Cal.
220 something.
How many bones do you have?
222.
Do you want one more?
I was gonna say, damn it, you beat me.
Well, I mean, we could give him 2
I'll
more
take
if you really
2.
want to.
I'll
Take
take
2.
I'll take 2.
Oh.
I knew it was coming, but
You'll know.
I wanted to mention super excited for Dork X this
Yep.
weekend. Like, it seems like there's so many like other creators and like other guests and things that are being a part of it. And so there's so many people that are going to be involved, and super excited to see a lot of that.
It's going to be fantastic. We've got, just to list a few, we've got Ravnos Archon over from, he does a lot of stuff on McStabber Studios. I was in a mage game that he ran. Fantastic stuff. We've got Ivy, Game Raider girl from Dice Cream Sandwich is going to be there. We've got Awkward GM Corbin is going to be in like a bunch of panels. We have Swole Initiative. We have... Oh God, we have so many. We've got tons of Tabletop Titties members. We just got titties everywhere. That's how I like it. I like this folk. But it is going to be it's going to be a fantastic time, and I'm really looking forward to it. And it's honestly, it's a lot of work, but it's a pretty chill weekend where we just get to like offer advice and talk about stuff that we're really passionate about and do some creation, and it's a lot of fun.
And talk and interact with the chat.
Yeah,
which is like one of my favorite things. Yeah, like seriously, and it's going to be fantastic. Folks, I always love these chat sessions right now, because if you couldn't tell, I love doing this for a living, and I love gushing about things and talking about upcoming plans. If you haven't heard the plans, I can talk about, because the hardest thing about running a channel like this is that I plan so far ahead because everybody's schedules, and it's a nightmare, right? But some of the players in this game are already signed up for a game that is not launching until December or January. And other of them are already scheduled
to be in a game that's not starting until August or September. And I want to talk about those games so much and the cast so much, but I can't. But what I can say is that we have 2 new games that are going to be starting within the next month. On May 28th, we have the first episode of Panic at the Citadel, Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel #1, which is going to be running on our Patreon, much like Strixhaven is. And then on that same day, we are having the session 0 for Arcos, The Dreams of Arcos, our homebrew game that is set place in kind of like, it's like a Greco-Roman type of thing, but it's going to spiral out of control real quick. I really, really hope that you check both of those out. Now, the Arcos is going to be a bi-weekly game. It's going to be on Sundays, kind of picking up where Spelljammer was. There, and it's got a fantastic cast, it's got great art. The ad's just about to drop, and during Dork Tales Expo we've got a bunch of other stuff that we're going to be dropping as well, including our brand new website. Yeah,
I have to say I'm really grateful that Arcos session 0 is on the same day.
Yeah, it's got to be,
instead
because
of
otherwise
Arcos
you'll
1 and Panic 1, because I would just panic the entire day.
No,
Just panic.
Yeah.
Just panic.
Just panic. There's no at the Citadel.
Just
It's
panic.
just panic.
Well, and then like in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from Saturday, Mage Season 2 has shows up, and man, it's gonna be good. So the other big thing that I wanted to say real quick, I know we got to hop back into game in about 60 seconds, but if you come along this weekend, what we're trying to do is raise as much money as possible, just to keep Dork Tales going. It unfortunately, this is a full-time gig, and it is an expensive one. So we use Dork Tales money or Dork Tales Expo money to offset a lot of costs that come in, like a lot of tech stuff, particularly, and a lot of art, because art is expensive, because you should pay your artists, because it's a job, you know. So we're trying to raise as much money as possible, but I want to give you some incentives. Last year we raised $1,800 US, I believe, and that was really, really helpful. But as we are trying to raise even more this year, I want to give more of an incentive. So we're trying to find out ways to do that and what you want. So if there's anything that you particularly want, please let me know in the Discord, tag me. Right now we've got ideas like, everybody keeps talking about and asking for more ASMR videos. So I will make an ASMR video for every $500 that we do. Just done. You have to listen to it now. I'm sorry. And then if we get our Patreon to 180 followers, 180 patrons, I will run an additional game at least once a month, probably every 2 weeks. That could be everything from Mage the Ascension to Star Wars. It could be whatever you want. I know you guys might want Star Wars, but I guarantee it's not as good without the music. It's good, but the music is what does it on that. I could run anything, guys. It could be Golden Keys to the Golden Vault. But I'll put it in your hands to vote, and we'll aggregate it from all of our social medias and stuff. So, and then if we somehow get 52 new patrons, the new game that I'm going to run is going to be Avatar: The Last Airbender, the tabletop game, which finally came in the mail and is just like literally right off screen. And I know Robin's shaking her head because there's no way I'd run that without you in it, right?
Yeah, I'm shaking my head going, no, I want to be in. I'm shaking my head going, I've said I wanted to stop. I said not stop. I said I wanted to slow down on the amount of games I'm in, and I'm just like, nope, can't do that. Gotta be an Avatar.
Would I run Changeling the Dreaming? Is that what's being asked there? I would run Changeling the Lost. I'd run Changeling the Lost. Dreaming, not so much. It's not my fave. But and then other things just to keep you hyped. We recorded
Demon the Fallen.
I'd run Demon the Fallen. Yeah, I'd probably have to run it for like the Dork Tales OnlyFans. Because it would be dark as fuck. But
you know what? We should set as a goal $5,000 raised for DorkX, Dork Tales OnlyFans. Audio only.
Oh, audio only? Done. You know, I'm gonna put that on.
Yeah.
You know, if we hit 7,500, I'll do a hot dub stream. I will run a game. You guys don't have to be in the hot tub with me, but I will run a game from the hot tub. Like, I'll get like a floaty for my DM screen.
Oh my god.
I will run a game from a hot tub at 7,500. Okay.
He
Where
wrote
will
it
you get
down,
the hot
Coldrick.
tub?
We have a hot tub. Christine's parents have a hot tub, so I'll just use that one.
Nice.
We'll just have to set up a camera somehow. So
And make sure the
Which-
Wi-Fi is
Make
strong
sure it doesn't
enough.
get
I mean,
foggy.
I've got my laptop, so I've got my new laptop because I
Make
had
sure it doesn't
to
get foggy or get strategically foggy.
just strategically foggy. I think I'll just have I have Zoom on this, so that's good. 500 ASMR, only fans audio. I will run games with content that needs to be put behind a paywall if people want it. Like I'm a very flirty person, and I will. There's nothing wrong with sex work.
Stars Apart did make a good point. It might be kind of dangerous to be in a hot tub that long, so be safe. Your
I can just
safety
turn- I
comes
can just-
first.
That's
Your
fair. I
safety
can just turn the
comes
heat down.
first. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. It's gonna
OnlyFans
be a
audio
nice
is
lukewarm hot tub stream.
the nice lukewarm. It'll be more of a soup,
It's
really.
a bathtub. It's like
It's
a
a
bathtub.
bathtub.
It's now a bathtub. stream, and then
bubbles,
you can
with
sell the
And I can
water.
sell the water afterwards.
Right.
There we go.
There we go. Well, we fixed the economy, folks.
Christine's face
did
is
it.
just like, dear God, no.
Folks, we did it. We fixed the economy. Yeah.
Warm
All right.
tub stream.
Warm tub stream. Christine, you want to get in the warm tub with me? Chris, you want to get in the warm tub with me? Cal.
Yes.
All right. Warm tub.
I'm like
I-
waiting for you to ask.
Right? It's like, okay.
Warm tub time
Warm
machine.
tub,
Warm tub.
Demon the Fallen.
Warm tub the fallen.
Warm tub the fallen.
warm tub the Luke.
You
Warm
killed
tub
him.
the
You
dreaming.
killed him.
Warm
Yeah.
warm
I had
tub.
coffee in my mouth, you son of a bitch.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
can't wait for
swallow,
that.
don't spit.
Oh, not that. It would stain. All right, folks, it's been 20 minutes instead of 10, so I think it's time for us to head back into game.
And half of that has been warm tub fallen.
Warm tub the fallen.
Can't wait to see the memes.
Yep.
Can someone, hey folks, find the Demon the Fallen logo. You can download the fonts. Someone make Warm Tub the Fallen like the Demon the Fallen logo, and I'll put that on a t-shirt. Or I might do it. Call game early. Do that.
My partner's watching, and she likes making little comics, so we'll see.
It's getting worse. There's some OnlyFans content. Defiled water. No killing Kelly on stream. Have you seen?
Oh, random. So
Random.
much.
We're getting in a hot tub. Random. Hop in. Yeah.
Why
I
are
will-
people- What a time to come in.
What a
Right?
time to come in. Hop into the tub. All right, folks.
Water's warm.
I think it is time to head back into my. I see. Here's the deal. I'm unmedicated attention deficit disorder man right now. So I just wanted to put this out there though. I listened to a song. Robin, I sent you a song earlier. That song.
Yeah.
I was listening to it while I was driving, and I've got an idea for a 1980s sci-fi anime cartoon D&D game
Oh my god.
that's basically
You know
like a
that.
like a Voltron style one.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
light punk. I know, Cal, it's your aesthetic. It's your aesthetic entirely. So just saying. Last thing that you could vote for that on the 180. But folks, we'll talk about that later. It is time to hop back into Dungeons and Dragons, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. All right, y'all ready? Chance like I've been ready. The tub's warm now. I just kicked my heel into my chair. It kind of hurt. Yeah. All right. Let's head back in to Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen, here on Dork Tales. Acting. Hello, and welcome back to Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen, here on Dork Tales. The elf stands in front of you. The elf known as Dalamar snuffs out the sphere of light as the sun crests the horizon. I believe we can do something to help each other. You are, refugees as well. Or perhaps just adventurers?
Oh, little of column A, little of column B.
Hmm. Well, I am part of a contingent of Sylvanesti elves. We arrived using this vessel. We're surveying the coast for ancient ruins. I know there are none here, but our leader, Zelsuel, wants me to search thoroughly anyway. Why would you be here?
That is a good question. Immediately, we are looking for a place to bring the contingent of seafaring vessels to the shore, but the
Planning an
overall
invasion?
goal, an invasion of
Of the northern
what?
wastes. I know exactly.
I could be the elven. Is there a
Hmm?
gender-neutral term for a king and a queen?
Monarch?
Ruler.
Ruler? Ruler sounds mean, though. See, that's why I could never be king or queen.
Go with monarch. Like a
Monarch.
butterfly. It floats
Leader?
off the tongue
I
beautifully.
like monarch. Yes.
All right,
And I would
elf.
rule...
Hmm.
I actually don't know what's in the northern wastes. Hazel? Oh,
How would I know?
have we even introduced ourselves?
You have not, but I left that on your shoulders. Please.
Aurontiros.
Aurontiros.
Hazel.
Hmm.
If no one else is going to go.
Rizira. Oh, I was just seeing if I didn't want to interrupt.
Kelara.
Kelara.
I'm Godfrey.
Levna. Sir Levna Drakehorn. Oh, sir. A Solemnic Knight, I see. And, excuse me for interrupting, but Aurontiros. You wouldn't happen to be Aurontiros Caledon, would you?
I would be Aurontiros Caledon.
There are very few Aurontiroses presently walking Kryn. I've heard your name through family connections. Nothing bad.
That's surprising.
Is it? You seem to be quite an outgoing sort. Is it too much to think that your name would spread far and wide?
The reason it would have spread far and wide is concerning.
No need for concern, friend. I believe it was potentially the announcement of your birth.
Oh, the only important thing
Of
my
course.
parents remembered about me.
Oh, isn't that just the way? So, a knight, an elf, a kender, a dwarf, and others. What brings you here? You said there's ships docking. If not an invasion, then this.
Exploratory mission?
I see. Are you looking for these ancient ruins as well?
Oh, is that what you're looking for?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Cousin,
Well,
are you aware of what's happening on the mainland?
yes, to some degree, of course.
I would like to insight check this
Please
too
do.
smooth and dark sounding person.
Please do.
Yeah, I'd like to do the same.
Yeah,
And
I was gonna
anybody-
wait till he's talking a bit
Every
more
time-
about wise.
See, don't worry about it, cousin. Every time people meet one of us, they do insight checks. It's normal.
I know, right? It's just suddenly, it's all over the place, really. Really. All right, I see Jen got a 6. All right, it's good. It's good.
Strong
This
and
guy,
proud 6.
strong and proud 6. I'm gonna say that, like, yeah, seems legit to you. Like, you're just not getting a read off this guy. You're like, he's slick. Second gen gamer. So boom, we got Robin with a 21.
Yeah, took expertise in an insight last level or
Did
this
you?
level
All
up.
right.
Yeah.
What did
That investigation.
what did we get, Christine?
27.
Holy shit. He absolutely knows more. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna roll for Levna. I'm gonna use the dice on the floor, so she'll pass too. But you guys definitely see he knows a decent amount more than he's letting on, for certain. He doesn't appear to be hostile though. But as you are saying that, you're going to see that what he says following this is authentic. Like, he's, aside from maybe like sugarcoating or underplaying a couple things, there's no lie in what he's about to say. Yes, I am quite aware. We are exiles ourselves. When we were unable to protect Sylvanus. Have you not heard?
How's that possible?
Sylvanesti is barren, cousin. We have been driven from our homelands.
What?
The dragon armies. They attacked us. Drove us from our homes. We escaped. We struggled. Ultimately, the majority of us made it to southern Urgoth, where we seek to find a new home, but the rest of us, when we failed to protect the homeland, we were sent on an expedition here to find nothing, he says, kind of calling out to the rocks with spread arms. Absolutely nothing. Because of some foolish legends of ancient Sylvanesti magic lost in these bluffs.
Well, Riz is gonna look at the group and kind of be like, do we say? In, like, the look.
Kalara's face is kind of like,
How is it possible that the height is Sylvanesti, the dragon army spreads all across Kryn?
Yes, it has.
Where do you know of do you know of my elves? Do you know of the Qualinesti?
I have not heard anything, which is probably the best news. But,
All the way in Sylvanesti?
Sylvanesti?
This is
Are you okay?
Sylvanesti
Godfrey,
is...
this war is across all of Kryn. If what he speaks of is the truth, that is... How is it even... If the Sylvanesti could not hold, then... with all of your magic and might,
Yes, well, the Blue Dragon Army was, quite thorough, we'll say.
Wait. Blue Dragon? Is there more than one?
Well, if I may, my dear, I would like to say the bitch has 5 heads.
The one here is called the Red Dragon Army.
I see they've made it to the north. The Red Dragon Army and Blue Dragon Army were the ones that I knew of for certain, but I did assume that there were others. Stands to reason, at least. I
Then
would
what
say...
I've just seen it so close. It's hard to imagine this happening to thousands or millions of...
Yes.
How could...
We were wondering the same thing. Instead, we've been here for, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks now, searching for these ruins. We found very little. And my leader, he practically spits the word. Zelsuel, of the Great House Mystic.
is here?
Oh, yes, of course, he's leading the expedition. He is content to spend the rest of his days scouring the northern wastes in search of ancient Sylvanesti magic. Oh, excuse me, my friends. Kelara, was it?
Uh-huh.
Can you check under that rock you're standing on? I don't believe we've turned that one over looking for ancient Sylvanesti magic. Maybe it's there.
Well, I imagine if you've only been here a couple of weeks, the wastes are quite large. Could take a very long time.
There's very little here.
Well-
But, I'm betting that you're here for the same reason that the Dragon Army is.
Are they here already?
Well, looking across the wastes, I saw a small platoon of them heading north.
Do you know of how long ago this was?
2 nights.
Do you know if they had any vessels?
Not that I could see. But I could get the sense that their direction was not random. They too seem to be scouring this land for something, and so I have to ask, perhaps the Dragon Army, the elves, and your lot have similar interests. So why is it that you are driven here? Is it just to confront the Dragon Army, or...
Well, of course we want to try and stop them.
Are we just going to beat around the bush about this?
I mean, I think we share a common enemy, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Question. Would my
Yes.
insight roll still kind of continue rolling over here a little?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're getting the vibe of him. All of that was legit, but he's trying to pump you for information right now.
Okay.
You and Riz are definitely going to get that vibe.
But that he might be at least like kind of more on our side.
He is definitely not a fan. He basically, like, his people were completely ousted from their homelands, and that seemed authentic. Either that or
It
he is
sounds
an
like we're not looking for the
amazing
same
liar.
thing, right?
You may not be, you know.
Okay.
I don't think the City of Lost Names was Elven in make. At least nothing you read about it seemed to imply so. In fact, I think it seemed more human to most people, but yeah.
Well, I think perhaps we should meet with your captain.
The head of the expedition, yes. And tell you
Yeah.
what, if you want, you're more than welcome to return with me to my group. There's an elven encampment north of here. Once you finish with, he'll gesture to the boats in the water, which are now quite visible as the dawn has broken across the horizon. I have nowhere else to be.
Yeah, we should make this quick. If they're 2 days ahead of us, we're 2 days behind.
Yeah,
Agreed.
let's get back to the ships.
We can. I'm sure we won't have much trouble convincing Sir Derek that we can all work together.
Listen, if you are interested, and if this has anything to do with striking back against the red or blue or any of the other dragon armies, I may be a stranger, but I am also your ally. I would like to see them suffer most greatly. However, I hope you forgive my impropriety of asking your direction here. I am something of a scholar of pre-cataclysm. Well, I studied, at least, pre-cataclysm structures and relics. That's why I know for a fact that there's probably not any elven ruins, the likes which my expedition seeks here. They don't seem to believe me. But I could be of use in other ways. It seems, and he'll look down at you, Hazeal, and will eye your robes and the token that you were given. It seems that you and I are in a similar boat. Was your test deferred as well?
It was.
Well. We apprentices should keep an eye out for each other. I'll be waiting here, aboard the boat, where it's a bit comfortable and dry. No reason to just sit on a rock for 2 or 3 hours while you park your boats.
Thank you.
Of course. With that, what do you do?
Try
We
and
didn't take the Fargab with us, did we?
I will spend a something good happens to say you took the Fargab with you.
Cool, then we don't have to spend an hour rowing out to them.
Okay. So you grab the Fargab and give it a crank or whatever you need to do. Just
Yeah.
I was gonna say we were searching, which is why it took so long to get here in the first place. But
yeah. All right. So
But
a
Fargab's
moment
fast.
later, you'll hear a response. Hello there. This is Rickledust. Hello? Hello. This is Rickledust.
Hello?
Is this a butt dial? I don't know what a butt
No.
dial is. I think I just invented it. Did you sit on this?
No, it's Riz.
Riz, when you're done, say over, over.
Riz over.
Riz,
I
over,
call
over, over.
Rizira over.
Rizira's over, over?
We have a spot. I don't know if you can see us or the little cove at the beach.
We'll follow the way that you headed. Over, 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 over.
Over.
Maybe we should pick a better word. Over. Easy.
can I send up a minor illusion cantrip as like a flare of like, hey, like boat?
Yeah,
come over
I'll
here.
say you can. Yeah, you could also you could
Cool.
do like tons of stuff. You could do a minor illusion. Minor illusion flare is totally within the realm of your purview right there. Other ideas you could do later. You could cast light on a rock and throw a rock up. You know, like there's tons of ways to do this. So what color is it? Describe it. I want to hear this flare.
Oh, okay.
What color
Sorry,
is it?
my
Red?
headache has returned, and I can't find my pain meds, so my head hurts.
Oh no. Do you want to take a break and go grab those real quick?
Yeah, they should be right here, so just give me a sec.
Totally.
So if this is, what is it she's casting?
She's casting minor illusion just to create the image of a bright flash.
I'm wondering if prestidigitation can like alter it,
You can make it glittery.
like glittery. Yeah,
Yeah. All right. So
that'll make
there
it
is
fabulous.
like a silent. It's basically it's like a flare that's good. And I'm gonna say that it explodes with like red light, because that's very Hazeal to be red, right? And as it comes down, it's gonna come down like this red glitter. Was that you, Over?
Yeah, that was us.
That was your eye, Over?
No, that was us. At the beach. Yes.
Sorry. Hey, look,
Over.
I'm on the thing. I know you're on the thing. You're making nonsense. Give me the thing. This is Cudgel.
This Cudgel, this is Riz.
Yeah, I know who it is. I've been listening in. Is that you, the big red light that just went up?
Yes, that was Hazeal.
See, is that
this
so
was
hard?
beach.
We're on our way.
Okay. That was easy. Well, the Cudgel
The
got
red
on
light
there.
was appropriate, I just say, and I did
Okay.
find pain meds, and I've taken them.
Yay!
Yes.
Yeah.
Success.
Yay.
All right. So, is anybody doing anything in the meanwhile? You can see that after another minute or so, you'll be able to see in the distance the edge of the ships as they're kind of rounding the edge of the cove.
No, I don't think just getting ready, eagerly
Yeah.
pacing.
Um,
Okay.
Wants to get going.
maybe just kind of
Um,
discussing with the party, like, I think we can work together with him, help him out.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, don't.
Maybe.
about the shrine.
Ultimately, he wants to destroy those of which who've displaced and killed the Sylvanesti. So,
Yeah.
what?
Well, we don't know
Who
what
greater
we
could
need.
we want at our side?
The more we talked to him, the more it seemed like, yes, he was more, if not on our side at least, probably wouldn't hinder us.
The enemy
He didn't
of
come off
our
very
enemy is our
friendly
friend.
at first.
I think
Actually, he's very friendly for a Sylvanesti elf.
I think we should. I think we should tell him about the shrine, at the very least. We should try and help these people. They're refugees
And
too, just like the
who-
people of Bogler, are they not?
And if they are indeed Sylvanesti ruins, then who better to access them than the Sylvanesti?
It's true.
Perhaps they will know about the City of Lost Names. Or at
All
least help us out with the direction of the platoon.
Where they've already been, where it's not worth looking. At this, where we are now, we can't really afford to spend time worrying about other people's motives.
Yeah, I also think working together is a good idea, but also the more time we waste, the more time the platoon's getting ahead of us. So I don't think we should spend a ton of time getting political. We can have them talk and coordinate with Cudgel and them back here. Did Becklin come with us to stay with the crew?
Becklin
I'm
did not
forgetting.
go with you. No, Becklin stayed back to advise Marshal
Okay.
Gendry.
So who was? Oh, it was Darrett staying behind.
Derek, Cudgel, and Rookledust are all on the
Rookledust, yeah.
boats, and they'll be staying with the troops.
Yeah. So I said we could always set them up with Cudgel, Dara, and Rickeldust, and they can talk once we find a better direction. But I think speed is going to be our friend.
I agree. And just as a note, Hazel's been, this is aside from me and my headache, but Hazel has been fairly quiet since we've been doing the whole ship thing. And for those of you with high passive perception, she is wearing a stone ring on the ring finger of her right hand that she was not wearing earlier. And you have never
Ooh.
seen.
Fancy.
Ooh.
And she's just kind of like sliding her thumb along it.
All right.
Hazel,
I think, yeah,
are
I
you
think we should.
okay? Kalara's gonna kind of like sidle up beside Hazel and kind of poke her.
Sorry, what was that?
Are you okay? You've been really quiet.
Yeah, just thinking of home, what was home. That's all.
Oh, I understand.
Maybe the dragon armies didn't have no. Why would dragon armies try to attack the dwarves?
I mean, that's what I keep thinking, but
I mean, the dragons can't really fly down there, right?
I don't think so, but
I don't think anyone's safe.
And
I think they're
anyone's
going
safe.
for total domination, which is why we...
That what we're doing is that much more important.
Yeah, I'm just worried, and I can't.
It's okay. Do you need a moment to sit down?
No, I'm fine.
We
Speed
should
is
tell
of
him
the
about the
essence.
shrine at the very least.
Yeah, we should.
Maybe not necessarily what we're doing yet.
If he doesn't already know that there's supposed to be one near.
Well, they said they've looked and they don't know, so...
Well, I guess we could compare what we have with the maps. Maybe they're not going in deep enough. It looked like it was
Give them
quite
a-
inset, right?
Yeah. If we give
Oh,
them
there's-
a more exact location, they could at least focus their energy rather than turning over every rock.
There's a lot of land to cover. I think it would be easy to miss something, unless they all pay attention like you do, Aurontiros.
Sorry, what?
Never mind.
All right. With that, the ships are going to be able to dock and are going to start unloading. Darrett will approach you as the Calaman troops are going to start setting up a camp. Now, right now, the camp is going to start just basically just emerging around you, kind of just like sprouting out of the ground like flowers. The camp, just to come out of character real quick, the camp is going to be something that is basically going to progress with you. So it'll be a mobile home base. It'll always be about the same, so you'll always be able to count on a few things. You will have a tent. Darrett will have a tent. Rookeldust will have a tent. Cudgel will have a tent. There will be a command tent where you'll be able to do all of your command things. Basically, it's Dragon Age Inquisition is what it is. And then there will be other tents like guard posts, hospital tents, supply tents, and other accommodations. So you actually will be able to come and get things taken care of. So this part of the game, they are kind of pulling out like away from cities a bit. So in order for you to feel like, hey, we need to go buy more supplies, you can go pick them up at the army, where you can get them at either for free or for a cheap rate by just trading some of the loot you find for the war effort. You can get if you trust Rookeldust to mess with your stuff, she might be able to upgrade some of your things. Who knows?
So because what we wanted to stay within at least 18 miles, but are they like going to be like right behind us, or because I thought we were talking about doing like a precise strike because the army's moving slower than us.
They're going to be moving. So basically, you're going to be a scouting party. So you'll go.
Yeah.
I guess you would just like scout ahead.
Well, this isn't really the army. It's only a small group
Yeah.
of the
Now,
army,
they never,
right, that's coming
to
with
my
us.
knowledge, they never tell me exactly how many troops there are. Okay, so a few hundred soldiers is what they say. So no exact numbers, but there are a couple hundred people with it. Harder to move that many people. So is anybody doing anything as the camp sets up?
Going to meet
Hazel's
these.
trying to help. Like, if we're not leaving, Hazel's trying to busy herself, so she's just.
Oh, if we're not going to go and talk to the elves, and we're waiting for the camp to set up, yeah, I'll just work on a song.
So as you are setting up and like kind of like just addressing things, Derek will approach you as one of the first people off the boat. Thank you for scouting ahead. Did you guys find anything? Anything that could be useful at all? Like this
Bad news.
boat?
Ooh,
You found bad news?
Small group of elves.
Elves?
Sylvanesti.
Well, that's good. The Sylvanesti
No.
could be our
If
allies.
Sylvanesti has fallen already to the blue dragon army.
There's more dragon armies?
Yeah.
Bad news.
Also, there's a red dragon platoon landed about 2 days ago, so they're already ahead of us.
We haven't shared any information yet, but I would recommend that we just be upfront and share everything that we have with them in the interest of working together. They are looking for their own things, it sounds like, and we might be able to help them and them us. We have a common enemy.
I suppose so. I guess, do you think they can be trusted?
They're
if
refugees.
they are refugees, there's nothing to be gained by being our enemy this far from where they were uprooted.
I suppose that's right. Okay. Where are they?
There's one there, and then the rest are up at a camp up there that we were offered audience. I think that's the correct term.
With their expedition leader, yes.
If you wouldn't mind, I encourage you to do so. We'll be setting up here for a while and getting everything set up for our northern advance, but I would go check it out, see whether or not they can be trusted, if there's any information we can share. I'll defer to your judgment. You're all... yeah, trustworthy? I mean, that's more than obvious.
We'll take the Fargab. Stay nearby it if you can, just in case we need to get in contact, and then a map with point of interest. Perhaps we can exchange information with them.
That sounds good. All right. So, with that encouragement, the camp's going to be set up, but what do you all do?
Head to Dalamar.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you approach, Dalamar will step up onto the rigging of the ship and lean over the edge. Hello there! Do we have a decision? That was quicker than I thought.
Let's meet your leader and see how we can help each other out.
Of course, I'll take you to my leader, as it were. I hope you're ready for a bit of a jaunt. It's about 12 miles north.
And I take it there's no quicker way by sea? This is the only landing point you've discovered?
It's the only good one. The rest of the bluffs get higher and higher.
Oh,
Come, cousin.
well, off we go.
Nothing like a good walk for the old Constitution, eh?
You know, they say that. But it's taken me years to get this far north. Might as well keep going.
All right. He hops down, and there is a bit of a walk ahead of you. About 12 miles north. Here's the thing, as you are headed that direction, you are going to find that the area around you is incredibly craggy and steep. It's rock and chunks of just... It almost reminds you of, like, what if stalagmites were an entire countryside? It's rough and ugly and awful terrain, and even as you are minding the coastline, the bluffs there are going to be just a sheer drop up.
So Mordor in like, or almost right before Mordor in the scene in Lord of the Rings.
It's basically, yeah, it's Mordor on the sea. It's one part Mordor, one part Oregon. Morrigan. Mordoregan.
Morrigan.
Yeah.
Mordoregan.
Mordoregan.
Oregor.
Mordoregan.
Oregano.
Welcome. I'll make a t-shirt of that later. Welcome to Gravity Falls. All right. Leaving the encampment behind you, you enter a bit of the waste. And it's at this point that I'm going to roll for something. You ready? You ready for the random encounters chart, folks?
Give it to us.
Ooh. You head north, winding your way along the coast side. A couple of times you swear you can hear some things. Oh, Amy just showed up and dropped 3 Hurt the Morse. Well, balls.
No.
Wonderful.
Winding your way north along the coastline, you're going to find that the way ahead of you is actually, aside from being precarious and dangerous, blister-inducing, cut-inducing, bruise-inducing, and thirst-inducing, is otherwise fairly, well, safe for now. Before long, you'll make your way to an elven encampment next to some small ruins on a plateau overlooking the wastes. There are a dozen or so elvish tents arranged in a spiral pattern. And as you approach, you can see about a dozen elves as well, milling about the central area. They're all Sylvanesti. And as you approach, one of them will call out in Elvish, "Who do you have with you, Dalimar?" "Tu elis mla, Dalimar." "Friends," he replies in Elvish. "Bellach." Excuse me. "Friends from Solamnia." Do any of you do anything?
What were they? Oh, look over at Aurontiros. What were they saying?
Just
Kelara will just
hailing,
kind of hesitantly wave.
just hailing each other and saying that he's brought friends from Solamnia.
I think Riz is just gonna go start like sitting down because they've been walking for like probably 8 hours.
Yeah, so moving at your normal pace. You can
It's
move at
12
about
miles.
12 miles. That's basically going to be almost a full day of walking. So it is getting on to the evening at this point by the time you reach there. And one of you, probably Levna, is going to be the one that has to carry the Fargab on her back.
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was me.
Oh, is it? You know what? It's you.
Hazel's
She's-
constantly been doing the like. She has a 10-foot slower movement than most people, so she's just going and doesn't and like catches up as people.
A couple of times, like Godfrey will just wait for Hazel to catch up, but he will never say that he's doing that. He will just like, sorry, I needed to catch my breath for a moment.
It's
Like
that new armor, eh?
it's a bit heavier than I'm used to.
There is going to be a pause as you approach the edge of the camp, and suddenly an elf garbed in immaculate robes, in spite of the conditions out here, will approach, a bit older, with dark hair and a circlet holding his bangs back. This elf will step out and will begin to speak in Elvish to you. Tualas, Dalimar Gnarna. What have you brought here, Dalimar? We do not need outsiders in our midst. They will only slow our progress down. My friends, I see this is Zelsuel. He whispers to you.
Zelsuel. In Elven, Kieta, well met, cousin.
I see. One from Qualinost. He says. He continues to speak in Elvish alone. I'm afraid that we are not able to assist whatever Dalimar has entertained you with. Please, continue on.
Perhaps we could at least assist you, then.
Make me a persuasion roll.
All right.
And you know what? I'm spending a hurt the more. Make it with disadvantage.
With
'Cause he's cranky.
disadvantage.
He's cranky. I'm going to lower my voice for him a bit more. I'm going to try to Hugo Weaving him, okay?
Oh, no.
Yes.
Okay. Duck dice and...
We have no reason to have you here. Yes, Hugo Weaving. Mr. Caledon, nice to see you.
Does he say that?
No.
Okay.
That'd be great. It wouldn't be great, though. Mr. Caledon, or Neo-Cal, as you are known.
Mr.
Mr. Caledon.
We've been
Expecting you.
I got
What'd you get?
17.
17's your low? Okay.
Yeah.
So he raises a sharply manicured eyebrow at you. How would you be able to help, cousin? We are but exiles, searching for a reclamant of our former power. Unless you
And-
know where one might be.
There are books in the nearby city. And pieced together, those in my party and I, we've pieced together tall tale, myth, and exploratory guides, and have come up with a map that may differ than yours. And there are ruins.
Ruins.
Or at least there should be, of elven make.
And where would these happen to be?
Well, if we can sit down and talk and introduce each other proper, perhaps we could actually help each other.
You debase yourself by traveling with these lesser beings, and you assume that I will debase my camp. The very vestige of Sylvanesti has been brought low to this, I shall not sully myself. Yes, Godfrey.
This is all in Elven, right?
This is all in Elvish.
Perfect. Okay.
Can I
Are
make
you-
an insight check?
Are you
You
Vibe
can
check
absolutely make
on
an
it?
insight to vibe check. Yeah, you can totally vibe check.
vibe check him? Are you in a position, Katy, to look down your nose when we have come to you to help? If what you say, if what your friend has said is true and Sylvanest has fallen, you need not stand alone, cousin.
Riz is gonna lean over to Hazel. I don't think they're going to help us.
I don't know. I think they kind of like us. Levna will mutter.
Do you not hear the tone? Do you see him like? Do you see that
I
face?
can understand every single word he's saying.
They don't
All
know that.
right, you speak Elvish.
And I say that loud enough that he can
Cousin,
probably hear me.
if it's about appearances, if it's about have an audience with just me, if you must. But we're going to help you whether you want us to or not.
Sylvanesti does not require the aid of outsiders. Be gone from our camp and do not return.
Sylvan
Dalamar,
would do
take
better
them.
to honor guests. I say in Elvish. Or Elven.
Ah. The first time something useful ever came from a dwarf's mouth. Be gone.
You're welcome to turn over rocks until the end of time, should you wish. Or you can, suck it up a little bit, take some offered help, and then we'll be out of your hair. But no skin off our backs if you don't want anything to do with what you're claiming to look for.
We will find it in our own course. Expedition, continue your survey. Dalamar,
So 800
see
years
our
then.
guests.
Cool.
See our guests out, Dalamar, and then get back to your work. He'll say in Elvish, which to everyone else is like, Duala Dara Dalimar.
Kalara's gonna lean into Hazel and ask what's being said.
This looks like it's going well.
It's not. It's not.
Paulina,
We're outsiders to them. They don't want our help. They're basically spitting on everything that we're trying to do
Oh,
for them. So they're
alright.
going to spend the next 800
Before-
years here just turning over rocks, and that's cool.
Yes.
before you turn your back on me, have you any word of my people, the Qualinest? Please.
What a dick.
He looks at you long and hard. You can see a bunch of emotions just flickering behind his eyes, but not on his face at all. He turns away from you, and over his shoulder he will say, I do not believe the Red Dragon army has deigned to take on lesser elves yet. Your people are safe. For now. And he will start to walk back into the expedition, and Dalamar will turn and look at you. Let me escort you away, my friends.
What happened?
We've come.
Sylvanest
Remember how I
hospitality.
said-
Snob.
Remember how I said Dalamar is actually extraordinarily friendly?
Yeah. He's apologies for the stereotype I'm about to state. He's being an elven snob.
He absolutely is. I think that you're absolutely correct there.
Wait, so
My friends, can we continue
No
this
deal?
conversation over that rise?
yeah.
Certainly.
Is there, Dalamar, is there really absolutely no way you or I could appeal to him?
Not here, unfortunately. Dalamar will, like, talk as he leads you away. And listen, let's not be coy. I am being led around by a fool who wants to search every grain of sand for something. But you, most of you are humans, no offense, well, the majority of you, I guess 3 of you. So you have a little less time than we elves to hunt for something in the dust. I've always enjoyed that. You have purpose. That ticking clock does a lot of good toward ambition. What is it you're
trying
out
to
here
get him to see the ticking clock of several dragon armies trying to take over Kryn. That's not necessarily going to work.
Are we? Let me know once we get out of sight of the.
So you are going to step over a rise and are going to be kind of like standing in the midst of the bluffs, away from sight of the elven encampment.
We would appreciate any help that you might be able to give us.
Yeah.
And, however, I can't let that man's arrogance hinder the rest of you. And I'll just hand him Dalamar the map. If you can't get anything, we share anything, that's fine. There's no price attached to this. Hopefully it will help you and your people.
You are also looking for it, aren't you?
We're looking for, well...
Oh. What are we looking for? A city without a name?
Yeah.
And I had a feeling. The City of Lost Names.
You know of it?
As I said, I was a scholar of pre-cataclysmic magic. And I do think there's something might be hidden up here. If I had my druthers, I would have us find it immediately so that I could end this war and continue and take my tests, becoming a full-fledged mage of high sorcery. Yeah, I suggest that, I learned of the City of Lost Names through my own, through Sylvanesti writings. The same ones that led us here. It's not connected to the ruins which my dear Zelsuel seeks, but it is reported to be a magical marvel, and could hold valuable secrets. He pulls out a quill and looks at the map and marks, I see that you've already found the Phoenix Shrine, Wakenrath. But here, Sunward Fortress, and he'll mark another spot on the map north of the Spires of Dawn, just to the north of here. Let's see. I suggest that, I would like to form an agreement with you, a mutual understanding. I would deeply appreciate an opportunity to advance my research, but as you can see, I'm a bit hamstrung, and it would not be wise for me to disobey Zelsuel. These 3 places are related to, or of a similar age to, the City of Lost Names. The ones that you have here, the Blue Phoenix Shrine, Sunward Fortress here, and Wakenrath. If you go to those places, provide any insight and reports on what magic remains, I should be able to glean more information about the City of Lost Names' location. What do you say? If you're headed those directions anyway, I would just be able to provide a bit of insight from my studies. and you would be able to provide me with a bit more color.
I think I speak not for everyone here, but I can't see why this would not be.
We're with you, Aurontiros.
Yeah, do you mind if we like get all the information and come back? Because
Actually, I thought of a better idea. Rather than having to trek all the way back, the way that we're routed right now, I believe that I would be able to get Zelsuel to let me meet with you again at Weckenrath. It doesn't matter which way you go, but we should be at Weckenrath for quite a while. So, regardless of how long it takes you to get there, there's a good chance we'll be there as well. Meet up there in a week, 2. Whatever you have for me by then, I should be able to help outline the rest of this God's forsaken land.
Sounds like a plan then.
And my friends, I do apologize for Zesuel's traditional hospitality.
Well,
We have had some encounters with some similar arrogance that has cost many lives of our own people as well.
And honestly, I can't say I'm surprised.
Perhaps he has nothing to fall back upon but his pride.
I suppose that would be so. I doubt he'll have any problem if you decide to camp here for the night. But in the meanwhile, I wish you the best. I hope that with your findings we'll be able to discover where the City of Lost Names is together. However, the best I can do is offer you my well wishes. I must be back. I imagine that I'm about to get quite the earful.
You have a lot of
Ear?
ears to get full.
Always enjoyed Kender humor. Fruitful investigation, my friends. I look forward to...
Wakenrith?
Wakenrith. He nods. And then turns.
Good luck.
Riz. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And with that, he will depart, leaving you there on the bluffs, just to the side of the elven encampment. What do you do?
So I know you've been up for like a long time. Do we want to try and push a couple more hours and find a camp?
Let's
Since
report
it's-
back to over the far gap, or with the far gap, and then carry on, unless we need more supplies. I think we should just keep going.
I think we're fairly good. We're freshly supplied.
Okay. All right, pop the far gab. So what do? You call back over the far gab? What do you say?
Check, check. Hello?
Hi, this is Rookle Dust. How's it going? Where are you
didn't
guys?
go over.
Hello?
Well-
Oh. This is Rookle Dust. How are you guys over?
Well, we've met the Elven expedition and, well, we're turned away. Over.
Away and over. That sounds awful. So what's the plan, over?
Investigate the ruins nearby. We may make camp where we are now, and then head off in the morning. Over?
Click. Hello, this is Darrett. You all stay safe up there, all right? Was the way pretty clear?
It was. Hazeal says that there were like pillars that resembled like stalagmites. Made some sort of like geography joke I didn't understand.
All right.
It is possible, but it's quite the trek.
Well, we'll be making our way northward in the morning. We'll keep updating you. We'll be a bit slower than you, but I think that together we'll be within good range. Let's check in twice a day? 3 times a day at morning, noon, and night. So when you pack up camp, try to message us at noon, and message us when you camp at night. Does that sound fair?
Of course.
Good. Thank you for trying.
Well, they don't seem hostile. They just want to be left to their elven ways.
Well, I guess there's something to be said for that. Good luck.
And good night.
Say over. Over.
Over.
And it goes silent.
Is it just me, or is Rookledust a little odd?
They seem fine.
Do you not remember meeting them? They were throwing like weird contraptions from their house.
Well, that's because they were under attack.
Yeah, but they had weird contraptions. Most people have like
Like-
spikes.
Yes, but
But they had weird contraptions. They didn't have spikes.
I
I
find,
imagine if they had nothing but jars of milk, they would have been throwing that.
I find a lot of people are, especially inventors, particularly are a bit odd from my understanding. So to be fair, my understanding isn't much of. I don't even know how this works, and I'll gesture to the backpack.
They have some creative minds, and sometimes the rest of us don't necessarily understand that.
it's more that I don't feel like they communicate very well.
What? They're fine. You're all tired and being dramatic.
So what?
Okay.
So because we like dawn and has what been? How late in the day is it?
I'd say it's probably about 6 or 7 p.m. at this point. Like
Okay.
it's starting to get dark outside.
Could I
Okay.
use a survival check and try and see if I can maybe just scrounge up some food or something, if there is anything?
Sure. I mean, you have rations on you as well.
Just in case. Save those for when we can't find
We
anything,
should
right?
set up a little camp.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to go forage this area, give me a survival check. Be nice, easy one. It's well, actually, no, it'd be not super easy. Just remember the terrain.
That's my highest roll all game.
What is it?
That will be a 23.
A 23. You will manage to
26.
find. Taking about an hour out. 26.
Wow.
Kelara, what kind of food are you looking for?
Maybe something with meat or fish,
Okay.
and something that could go with it that's like vegetative. So she can do her chef.
So Kelara, through you and Godfrey, you're going to be able to find a bunch of mushrooms. You're going to find what looks to be some sea kelp that's been drying, kind of like on a rock, and is actually pretty probably good to go. A bunch of some edible fruits as well, growing off of thorn bushes. Kelara, you're going to take a couple of pot shots into a creek, and actually are going to skewer a pair of large eels.
Okay. Kelara will make dinner with it.
Okay. And with that, you will set up a little camp and set down, ready to progress the next day.
Hazel got a 6, so she finds some rocks.
Traditional
Maybe they're
dwarven
salt.
cuisine.
So how far from the elven camp are you setting up your camp?
Far
Fairly
enough away
close.
that they don't bug us.
Over the ridge.
Close enough that they could hear me playing the lute.
Just to annoy them. Yep. Fair. All right. So, doing that, you are going to set up camp for the night, ready to progress in the morning. Hazeal, as you are looking around, though, you are going to be kind of scouring the countryside, just looking for food or things like that. And you are going to be making your way over a ridge looking for something. You're going to slip on a little bit of broken shale. And as you go down to a knee, just to collect yourself, you're going to look directly beneath you on the ground. And you are going to see that along the winding coastline here, it looks like a trail from about a large reptilian footprint had been on this coast side. Now, you're about the furthest away from everybody. You're probably about a quarter mile north of the camp at this point as you're looking around. And you can see as you're standing there, collecting yourself, the tracks of, a day or so old, probably, maybe 2 days old, of a half dozen armored soldiers, and at least half a dozen draconians. Perhaps you're not that far behind them after all. And I think that's where we're going to call game for the night, as you set up camp and you prepare to head to the north in search of adventure, danger, and daring. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns before we wrap up?
What a dick!
Yeah, I'm sorry. He is a huge dick.
Oh my god!
How to make Dalamar look good.
I was like,
Right?
I was originally sus of Dalamar and just been like, yeah, he seems kind of sketchy, kind of dickish. I don't know about sharing with him. And then we met the other ones. It was like, oh, hey, you're a really cool dude.
Dalamar is, for those who don't know the lore, Dalamar eventually becomes Raceland Majer's apprentice down the line. And he's Dalamar the Dark. He gets exiled for being a dark elf, for being a black robe wizard. And he's very Slytherin. He's very, but it doesn't mean he's a jerk. It just means that he's like, I want to know everything.
Whatever.
Oh, okay. Because, originally when you were like, oh, well, you should know this dude, Chris, Dalamar the Dark, I was like, that sounds sketchy. This sounds like this is maybe not a good character we need to watch out for type thing.
No, he's a good. Everybody loves Dalamar.
Yeah.
Are
we getting a long rest with this?
You are going to be getting a long rest overnight. You absolutely are.
Cool.
So everybody can rest up and
Great RP,
yeah.
guys.
Good RP, everybody. Good episode.
Oh,
Good episode.
I loved the elf on elf angst.
I love just doing the elf voice. Just tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. It's my favorite. It's my favorite.
Well, like I said in our private
the
chat,
dating
it was
advice.
giving me, it was giving me, Brennan Lee Mulligan's dunking on elves for 10-minute vibes.
That really influenced the way that I play elves, watching that video and being like, oh yeah, they are
So
kind of
good.
douchebags. It's
Right? Yeah, it's great.
It's real good. All right, so you guys are gonna get some rest, and folks, we're going to be back. We'll be back next week with more Dragonlance. In the meanwhile, prepare yourself for tomorrow's coming. Prepare yourself for it. But prepare yourself for Friday when we have our first day of Dork Tales Expo. It's going to be a fantastic time. I also need to thank Bookwyrm Games for sponsoring this. Go to bookwyrmgames.com and use code DorkTales to save 10% off your order. And best part about that, it is Canadian prices. So if you're ordering from the US or somewhere where the dollar is strong right now, that's like another 30% off right away. And if you spend $100, shipping's free. It's fantastic. That's $100 Canadian too. Like that's like nothing. That's like $20 US. It's like $70 US. But yeah. So thank you to Bookwyrm Games for sponsoring us. I cannot wait to get more dice from you because I need more dice for these characters. And also I wanted to thank all of our patrons at patreon.com/dorktales. In particular, I wanted to thank our world building producer, Soul Omen. I wanted to thank our divine patron, my mom, Jan, and my stepdad, Bob. I want to thank my my wizards of the my demonic patron, Precarious. Thank you, Precarious. You're amazing. Everybody go watch Precarious' stream on Friday if you're not watching Dork Tales. Our wizards of the Patreon, Aeolus the Forever Cleric, and the Ink Goblin. Thank you so much, Ink Goblin, for joining up and for being wizard. I'm going to have to start segmenting you into colors, like Ink Wizard the Green or something like that. Or Ink Goblin the Green. And then, of course, to our High Council of the Patreon, I have to thank Taryn, the Traveler, Buddy, Trezelta, Amberthist, Cubby Gummy, Raven with Baubles, Karasha Urquhart, Drew Thompson, Sergio, Chef Aladeth, Larouk, Sorcerer Sanguine, and Mike Baxter. You are all amazing. Thank you so much. You're fantastic. And we'll be back next time with more Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. Good night, everybody. And Twitch, let's go raid somebody. I want to raid somebody.
I put a thing in there.
I already
chat.
have it.
Oh, cool.
Excellent.
Dragonlance. Shadow of the Dragon Queen.
Dragonlance.
Ooh, ooh. Shadow of the Kender Queen.
You have to say ooh instead of over. Ooh.
Oh my god, no.
It's the end of the stream,
Murder
ooh.
someone in real life.
Let's go raid, ooh.
Oh.
All right, let's go raid.
Okay,
They're doing Wild Beyond the
Queen.
Witchlight, so let's go check in on them. Good RP, everybody. Good game, everybody. And we'll see you at Dork Tales Expo. Good night.